Foyle Sports Sound with Desi McCallion.
Good evening and welcome to Foyle Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Foyle. I'm Desi McCallion. It's another big night of European football for Derry City. They go into tonight's second leg of their Europa Conference third qualifying round tie, trailing 1-0 against Tobyl after last week's first leg in Kazakhstan. And the prize for the winners of this tie will be a trip to the Czech Republic next week as Pilsen lead Gazira 2-0 tonight. That's 6-0 on aggregate, so it will be Czech Republic opposition for the winners of this tie. Alongside me here in the BBC Radio Foyle studios is former Derry City striker Liam Qual. But before we hear from him, we can cross to the Tallaght Stadium now, where Eric White has been joined by former Derry City midfielder Gareth McGlynn in the commentary box. So we'll hand to Eric now to get the team news.
Thank you very much, Desi. And as you say, Tobyl have a lead, but it is a precarious lead. An unstoppable strike from their left back Roman Azrankalov is all that separates the sides. Michael Duffy squandered that glorious chance late on to level the tie. The game played on a very poor surface. That of course won't be the case here this evening at Tallaght. The pitch in perfect condition as usual. The sprinklers are on, and the Derry City team getting a huge reception from the fans away over on the far side from our commentary position, the main stand where all the Derry City supporters are located, and it is beginning to stretch out, it has to be said, fill up with that kick-off approaching. Well, the team news: Derry City beat Drogheda 3-0 on Sunday to move up to third in the Premier Division table. 5 changes as Ben Doherty, Mark Connolly, Paul McMullen, Will Patching and Jimmy McGonigal are all restored to the starting lineup. Kieran Call, Shane McElhinney, Brandon Kavanagh, Jordan McAniff and Darren Mullen step down to the bench. From the tie last Thursday night in Kazakhstan, just the one change, and that's McGonigal starting ahead of Cian Kavanagh. Well, a much changed Tobyl side lost 2-1 in the league on Sunday. They won the Intertoto Cup back in 2007, but aside from that, they've never gone beyond this round of any of the main European competitions as well. 2 changes for them as Oravok is dropping down to the bench and Chesnikov is out injured, so in come Ilic and Ivanovic. So the Tobyl team in full. And if anybody from the BBC pronunciation unit is listening, I do apologise in advance. It's Konovalov in goal, the back four of Kairov, Rogic, Milatovic and Azrankalov. In midfield, Sharmbietov, Muchikov and Ilic, and the front three, Ivanovic, Vugadinovic and Deblay. Conditions here pretty much perfect. If the tie is level after 90 minutes, we go to extra time. If it's still level, then it will be a penalty shootout. Big night in Prospect. Kick-off approaching at 7:45.
Thanks, Eric. Alongside Eric, as we've already mentioned, Gareth McGlynn. Liam, Gareth's going to have some time with these Kazakhstan names. But Gareth, what do you make of the team news?
Yeah, well, to be honest, with Chesnikov getting injured at the weekend, the manager actually kept him off. He went on at half time and had to be taken off again, then injured. So he's a big loss. He was decent in the first leg. I like the left winger and the striker, but he's going to be a big miss for them going forward.
What of the Derry City team? Are you surprised?
I actually had Cian Kavanagh starting. He's obviously gone with Jamie. Listen, Jamie came on. We all saw what happened on Sunday against Drogheda when the 3 boys came on, and then Mark Connolly later on. It changed the game. They just went up a gear and put the tidy bed. Jamie's obviously he was lively for the 20-25 minutes he was on. He's obviously playing with a bit of confidence. Great opportunity for him here. We know that he likes playing against Rovers as well. He'll be lively tonight, and then obviously we've got Cian Kavanagh. If there is a need for a goal, we hope to see him in the last 15-20 minutes.
Liam, a huge game for Derry City, and it is one they're very much capable of winning.
Well, 100%, Desi. I think this competition gives you a chance against teams, you know, especially in the first couple of rounds. You know, most teams are on a par, and Derry now at this moment in time, like, you got it. They're a full-time team, big squad of players, so they're always capable of giving teams a game, especially in the early rounds. And you know, last week's result wasn't a complete disaster. You know, Derry had chances especially the Michael Duffy chance last week. So Derry know there's going to be more chances in this game tonight.
Gareth, what did you make of the first leg? Did you think Derry did enough to take maybe anything better than what they got out of it?
No, but Desi, I thought it was a really professional performance. I mean, we knew these guys were a good side. They're playing at home. Derry had a trek all over the country, diverting through Russia to get there. 2 stops. I know they were chartered, which obviously helped a lot, but it was still a lengthy journey. But that side was obviously good. To be honest with you, a rocket that the left back scored. How many other really, really good chances did they create? And Derry, granted, didn't have many clear-cut chances, bar the Duffy chance, which came from the goalkeeper. And to be honest with you, I wasn't convinced on the goalkeeper as well. I would like to see him tested with crosses and shots here tonight, but I thought they were good. I thought there was very, very few mistakes, and it was a really professional performance that, bar a rocket, was the perfect result, which would have been 0-0.
When I spoke to Patrick McElhinney at Brandywell, I think it was a Tuesday lunchtime, I was over there, and he insisted that this two-ball side are a step up in quality from both Torshavn and indeed Coops. Would you agree with that?
100%. They're probably somewhere in between Coops and Riga. I would say that a lot of people are telling me this is a 50-50. I disagree. Derry are one goal behind here. This is a quality side. We saw what the left winger could do last week. We saw the striker who's got pace. He's going to be going in behind. He's going to love this Tala pitch. And by the way, Tobyl as well, they'll be relishing playing on a pitch like this. I mean, we all saw what the conditions were like last week. It was a long pitch. There was sand all over the goal mouth. It was a bit of a shambles. So they'll be coming here, and granted, and one thing that you've got to take into account, local time for this crowd, it's 1:45 in the morning. Now, I don't know whether they stayed in local time or whether they try to adjust, but we all know what happens when you try to adjust to someone else's time difference. It messes with the habits and the brain. So I don't know whether they stayed, whether they did or they didn't. It's going to be late for them to be kicking off a game at 1:45 in the morning.
How big a factor is jet lag and the journey that this team have had?
Massive. We saw Derry. I mean, the one thing that I look at, especially when you're going away from home, I mean, I was against Torshavn. Derry weren't great. They kind of underestimated the team, and they didn't play well in the first half an hour. They've got a good look at Tobyl now. They can gauge them. They know where they're strong. They know where they're weak. But Derry, that's how good the performance was out there. They came away with a 1-0 defeat, which there was very, very little mistakes, and they handled it quite well, making the trek. It'll be interesting to see how they do it now coming the other way. Tobyl will find it difficult, especially if they've stayed within their own time zone.
Well, let's hear from the Derry City boss. They're not looking at this fixture with hope, they're looking at it with expectancy. And when I spoke to Rory Higgins, I told him that the fans travelling down tonight weren't travelling in hope, but they expected to win.
Well, that's what we want. We want them to expect to win every game of football that we play. It doesn't always happen that way, obviously, but we're playing well at the minute. They're right to be expectant, and we're expectant. We want to win. We want to create history, and that's what we can down to Dublin to try and achieve.
There is a belief that you can beat this team.
Aye, there is, and I think they started the game better than us out there and put us on the back foot a wee bit, but when we got the grips with it after 15-20 minutes, I thought our defensive shape was absolutely brilliant, and I thought we played some good stuff on a difficult pitch at times as well. So we've nothing to fear. We want to go down and embrace the challenge and try and make a wee bit of history.
You know what the journey's like from here to Kazakhstan. Do you believe it'll have an influence on them?
Well, it's certainly not around the corner, that's for sure. And I hope that they struggle with it. I'm not going to lie. I think our players, honestly, I can't speak highly enough of them, players and staff, how they travelled, how we recovered, how we prepared for Sunday after the travel, all that sort of stuff. We were on the money and prepared brilliantly. So to answer your question, I hope they struggle with the travel. Yep, I do.
You know what you have at disposal in your dressing room. You've seen the ability of these guys. You know you have enough to beat them.
Aye, well, we know that the way we're playing at the minute, we've gone to Finland and scored 3 goals. We scored 2 here against Coops, and we're scoring goals. I know we didn't score out in Kazakhstan, but we did have a couple of opportunities. It was a different type of performance. It was a really professional away performance, and it gave us a platform now to go and try and win the game at home.
There's frustration that the game can't be here at Brandywell. There was frustration when Windsor Park was taken out of the equation. But you have a decent record at Tala. It's a ground you're familiar with. It's a decent ground. It's one of the best stadia on the island.
It's definitely, for me, it's definitely the best stadium and pitch. If you take everything into consideration, it's the best in the League of Ireland. So it's a ground, it's a great pitch. They look after the pitch brilliantly down there. Really good stadium. We know the surroundings, so there'll be no excuses.
That was Derry City manager Rory Higgins. Liam, they know the surroundings. They've been in Tala many times. They've a decent record there, but it's not Brandywell.
It's not the Brandywell, and you know, for the players and for Rory and all his backroom staff, it's not a problem. It's, you know, the fans travelling is just the unfortunate thing. You know, they have to make that trek. They Dublin. It's going to be the early hours of the morning before they all get back again, and you know that's the unfortunate thing. And as I said to you off air before, the most frustrating thing about it is if they won this game, they have to go back down again. You know, and that's. You know, I'm not saying it takes all the goodness out of going through, but it's for the people of Derry, it just loses that. It loses that special occasion that you could have at the Brandywell. You know,
they can't look at next week. How will Rory approach this? What way does he approach this? He can't go gung ho, but they may have to press on at some stage.
Well, it all depends. If they get an early goal, changes the dynamic. If Tobyl get an early goal, means Derry are going to have to take more chances. So, you know, it's such fine lines here at the minute. You know, I don't think there's, you know, Tobyl obviously have a bit of pedigree in Europe, but looking at them last week, you always felt that Derry, coming they play Derry, was always going to be a harder game than it was out there. You know, Derry worked extremely hard last week, but the first 15-20 minutes will tell a story, and the first goal for either team changes the whole dynamic, the tie.
Call it.
I think Derry will win. Whether they can stop this team from scoring, I don't know, because I do think they'll create chances, and I think they've, as Gareth said, they have a couple of players up front that are really dangerous, but I think Derry will win the match.
For the moment, Liam Coyle, thanks for that. We can cross to the Tala Stadium now. The players are out on the pitch with the officials, so we'll return to our commentary team, Gareth McGlynn, and first of all, Eric White.
Well, good evening everyone from the Tala Stadium, located in the foothills of the Dublin Mountains, and the setting for Derry City's 50th match in Europe. Their first was way back in 1964 against Stoya Bucharest. The club, of course, denied the chance to play the home leg at the Brandywell. Their request to stage the game at Windsor Park in Belfast turned down by UEFA, but this current team hoping to go where no Derry City side has gone before, and that is through 3 rounds in Europe. To do that, they must overturn a 1-0 deficit from last week's first leg in Kazakhstan, only achieved once before in the club's history, and that was against FK Lynn in 1965 when they lost 5-3 away before a 5-1 home victory. Well, the fans, forced to travel further than expected, are in boisterous mood. The Derry team have split from their pre-match huddle, and it really is striking to see so much red and white in the main stand. Tala in perfect conditions as we look out from the east stand across the lush green surface. You could almost eat your dinner off it, and to see from one end of the pitch to the other on the far side, full of Derry fans, it really is a sight to behold. We're almost set to go. The referee is walking towards the centre spot with the match ball. Gareth McGlynn 46 goals in 357 appearances for Derry City. Your final thoughts with kick-off almost upon us?
Yeah, it's incredible. When you look across at that stand, you see all the Derry City fans that have given up their time and their finances to come up here and travel. We just hope that the team can put on a display. I think it's going to be a display. I think we're going to see a lot of goals here tonight. I think it's going to be similar to the second leg against Cups. I think both teams are going to go for it. It's pretty evident Derry have got to go and score a goal, and I can see Tobyl, as Liam says, I can see them scoring. So it's a matter of, and it doesn't change much if they score, because Derry still have to score too. So I can see goals here tonight.
It must be close to 3,000 Derry fans here inside the South Dublin venue, and it is the home team who are going to get proceedings underway. A referee who is Peter Kralovic from Slovakia. Derry in their red shirts, thin white stripes, black shorts and white socks, going to play from right to left. So in the first half they'll be kicking towards the south stand, and we are underway. Games like these don't come around too often. Tobyl in their white shirts, green socks and green shorts, as Cameron McJanet knocks an early ball back to his goalkeeper Brian Maher, who made some pretty big saves in that first leg as well. It's a pleasant evening here, slight breeze, wispy light cloud up ahead, and Derry coming into this game making 5 changes from the side which beat Drogheda 3-0 at the weekend. Ben Doherty, Mark Connolly, Paul McMullen, Will Patchin and Jamie McGonigal all back in the team as Ben Doherty sends that ball towards the edge of the box. McMullen almost trying to get McGonigal through here. It'll still come out towards Will Patchin. Here's Duffy just at the edge of the penalty area. Doherty comes down the left hand side, and his cross in towards the box has been blocked by the fullback Kirioff. And inside the first 60 seconds, Derry City have won a corner kick.
Absolutely lovely and positive. I love McMullen getting the ball in that inside right position, and that's what's so good about him. He can sit inside right, or he can go wide. He can go outside, or he can go inside. But again, you've seen that Michael Duffy playing Ben Doherty, and nice positive start from Derry.
So Patching to deliver the first corner kick off the game to try and test Konovalov, the Russian goalkeeper, who looked a bit shaky in that first leg. It comes towards the back post. It's gone over the head of Cameron McJanet, who races after it towards the corner flag to keep it in play. Now it's with McMullen. He's darting his way inside the box. McMullen clips it towards the back post, and McGonigal heads it over the bar.
Whoa, unbelievable.
Brilliant start.
Unbelievable McMullen, getting at the fullback, steps inside one, fakes to go outside the other, steps inside him and clips a beautiful ball. Jamie's seen it the whole way, and now granted it just come over the centre half's head, but he's got to be getting that on target. Even if he puts it down across the net and it pops out to another player, he's got to be hitting the target. Brilliant start by McMullen.
First chance falling to Derry inside the opening 2 minutes. Jamie McGonigal, who of course scored here at Tala earlier in the season in one of the 2 meetings that they played here against Shamrock Rovers. They won the first one by 2-1. That was the goal that McGonigal got the winner in before they were back here in June, losing by 1-0. Tobyl, for the record, they've made 2 changes from the first leg in Kostanay a week ago, with Ilic coming into the side in midfield and Ivanovic for Chesnikov. That's a change wide on the right. He's just hugging the touchline down below us. The bearded Ivanovic wearing number 70. So 3 minutes gone here. BBC Radio Foyle and on BBC Sounds bringing you live coverage of this Europa Conference League third qualifying round tie, with the winners to play Victoria Pilsen from the Czech. The home leg will be first for the winners of this tie. Pilsen 2-0 up against Gazira in the closing stages in Malta, but 6-0 up in aggregate. That tie was all but over after the first leg. Derry have a throw in over on the far side, midway in the toe ball half, but the Kazakhstanis have won it back here again with Muchakov, their skipper. They play it up front to their danger man Deblay, and they've won themselves a free kick. I mean, a positive start initially there from Derry. Gareth, will they chase this game? Will they chase this goal early, do you think?
No, Eric, I don't think they should. I think they should just manage the game. I think they should just be cautious. Obviously, as I said, listen, if Tobyl were to get a goal, Derry still need 2. But I think looking at it, it's going to be very similar to the first half over there. Both teams are just going to try and create a few chances, but I don't think Derry should chase it right off the bat. Now, they will be given opportunities throughout the game that they're going to have to take chances, and I just don't think they should do it for the first 20 minutes. Just to feel them out, because we don't know how these guys are going to react to the conditions, to the crowd, again to the travel, how they're going to. But they have started. They look comfortable. They have started well.
So far in this year's competition, they beat Honka from Finland 2-1 at home, and then grinded out the required 0-0 draw in the away leg to go through 2-1 in aggregate. It was much more eventful against Basel. Remember last season's beaten semi-finalists from Switzerland, who they knocked out in the last round. They won 3-1 away and lost 2-1 at home to go through 4-3 on aggregate. Doesn't quite tell the full story of that game though, as Ivanovic has it down the right hand side. Basel had 2 players sent off in the first leg meltdown for them, and they also had travel issues, which meant they only arrived in Kazakhstan on the morning of the return leg. There was also a contentious penalty in that game. It is full time now in Malta, so confirmation of that 2-0 win for Victoria Pilsen, and they await the winners of this tie in what would be the playoff round. Tobyl, as the ball has gone out of play for a goal kick for Brian Maher to take. The new north stand, which is still under construction, towering over him in the distance as Deblay chests it down just outside the penalty area, but Derry can bring it away with Ronan Boyce, who's played in every minute of all the European ties so far, and he's battled hard to win that header. O'Reilly goes sliding in, and he wins possession for Derry, or retains possession for the Candy Stripes. Patchy now driving forward with it here towards Duffy, who had that super chance in the first leg. Plays it across. O'Reilly takes on the shot, didn't quite connect with it cleanly enough, and it drifts beyond the post of Konovalov.
There's no doubt about it. Michael Duffy has the beating of this right back. Twice he's gone at him, and twice he's got a cross on. But I have to say, Adam O'Reilly, he epitomises what Derry City need tonight. He's had 2 crunching tackles. The first one he got a stern talking to by the referee. Didn't matter. 2 minutes later, he goes on 50-50 in the middle of the park, wins the ball back, gives it to Patchin, and Patchin puts Duffy away.
Patrick McAliddy, by the way, will have to wait a little bit longer for his 50th appearance in Europe. He will be used as an impact sub at some stage later on this evening. Not selected in the starting 11 with that ongoing Achilles problem that he has, but we will see him for sure at some stage tonight. Here is Paul McMullen now towards Patchin. Patchin shifts the ball out here to Duffy. Duffy goes for a dinking ball into the back post area, but Konovalov, all in yellow, is able to gather. I mean, he looked a bit shaky in the first leg, didn't he, Gareth? And I thought his distribution was suspect too, especially when Duffy should have capitalised that time late in the game and got an equalising goal.
It was an incredible chance, Eric, and listen, and it was actually his throwing ability. He tried to throw it out to the centre half. He was sitting in the 18-yard box, and it was a mad decision. Not only that, he was under pressure, but he couldn't even do that. It was 18 yards away. All he's got to do is throw it out to him. He actually threw it to the Derry player, who then put Duffy in, and Duffy put it just wide. But yeah, he looks dodgy, there's no doubt about it, both with his feet and with his hands. But we need to get the ball wide, and that's why I thought Cian Kavanagh would start. I thought with McMullen on the right, Duffy on the left, and the keeper being so bad, I thought it would have been a good opportunity to put the big man in the box and get balls in on top of the keeper.
I'm sure Duffy thought about that chance on the 10-12 hour flight home last Thursday night, but we'll not keep going on about it. He did, of course, score on Sunday in the 3-0 win against Drogheda United. That has moved Derry up into 3rd in the Premier Division table, of course, 5 points behind Shamrock Rovers, and with a game in hand. Jordan McAniff and Jimmy McGonigal were the other goal scorers at the Brandywell on Sunday. Gareth, you thought you might require the sunglasses over on this side off the ground, but I think the low setting sun very shortly I think is going to disappear behind the Maldron Hotel over in the far side there, so we should be okay. Tobyl meanwhile have a throw in just in front of the Derry technical area as the home fans continue to bring a vibrant atmosphere here on our side of the ground, which is the east stand. There's no spectators at all. It's completely vacant apart from some of our other broadcast colleagues, including RTE just in front of us. Kenny Cunningham, the former Republic of Ireland international, on co-commentary duty, and he was telling us beforehand that he did come up against Andrei Kanchelskis a couple of times in his career, and the reason I mention Andrei Kanchelskis is because he is the general manager of Tobyl, the former Manchester United winger, of course a key member of Alex Ferguson's first 2 Premier League winning sides, and he did reportedly actually apply for the Derry City job once back about 2015. Long ball across here trying to seek out Ben Doherty. The floodlights are on fully here now at Tallaght. McGonigal looks to release Duffy down the left hand side. We've played 10 minutes and it remains Derry City 0, Tobyl 0, but we must of course crucially add that Tobyl do lead 1-0 from the first leg as Ivanovic falls to the ground. Here's Diallo, what an impact he has played in Europe so far, saving his goals for Europe, that's for sure. He's scored in the second leg of both ties so far against Tórshavn and Coops. Derry have a free kick 10 yards inside the Tobyl half. Of course their first round success over Tórshavn ensured Derry came through a round for the first time since 2014, and then that dramatic triumph over Coops allowed Higgins to emulate Stephen Kenny's 2006 team, of which he was a part of. Ball has found McMullen at the back post, but has Rankeloff in with a sliding tackle and has gone through to the goalkeeper. But to win 3 is uncharted territory, and the referee is happy that Derry have won the ball back fairly over on the far side despite the protests from the visiting dugout. Doherty sliding in there, wins the first ball, doesn't win the second ball, and here's Ivanovic now. The referee happy to let things run right now. Ivanovic slips the ball into midfield to Muchakov, who sidesteps O'Reilly there. Out wide now to their number 8, who is Deblay, their Ivorian front man. Derry have defended the situation. He scored twice in the leg against Basel, both penalties I think actually, as Doherty knocks it back towards Brian Maher.
Yeah, Rick, just watching the first 12 minutes here, Muchakov, he is some player, their captain. He's picked the ball up a couple of times in that 10 position. He's nutmegged Adam O'Reilly and he's gone past Diallo. They need to keep an eye on him, and he seems to get on well. They seem to be in the same wavelength with Debele. The both of them are a real danger, and then you put that with the left winger, and Derry need, especially in the defence, they need to be on their toes.
Here's Patching now in the midfield area. I think has he got Duffy away down the left hand side. Rogic is going to have to time his challenge. He bundles into Duffy and the referee says that's a penalty. 13 minutes gone on the clock and Derry have been awarded a penalty kick. Unbelievable pass by Whitwell Patchy. He just saw Duffy take off. He put the ball inside the right back, and Duffy was away. But the centre half was so slow to get across. It looked as if he was in a travelator. He just didn't get there, and Duffy cruised there, and Duffy actually slowed down at the end. When he saw the defender coming, he just knocked it past him, and the centre half just ran into him and bundled him over. It was a clear penalty, and in fairness to the referee, he did take a split second just to make sure, and then pointed to the spot. Well, Rogic was the offender, and I think the goalkeeper now is going, well, he's been told by the referee to get back on his line, no shenanigans, and it looks as if it's going to be, yeah, it is Will Patching who's now going to take the penalty. Jamie McGonigal had the ball in his hand, but here it is, Will Patching now. His header against Coops in the last round was so crucial in turning around the first leg at the Brandywell, up against Konovalov, into the goal to our left hand side at the south stand. Big opportunity here for Derry City. Up steps Patching, and he rolls it into the bottom corner, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Derry City hit the front inside the first 15 minutes. They lead by 1-0. Perfect penalty from Patching, and he squares the tie at 1 goal apiece and spins away to celebrate in front of the boisterous City fans.
Cool as you like. He did the old Jorginho penalty. He's just stalled. He stalled. The keeper's gone to his right, and he's just slotted to the keeper's left. Cool as you like. What a start from Derry City. Again, this levels everything up. Liam called it in the studio. Derry City get an early goal. Now it becomes a real cup tie. Now Tobyl have got to come out and try and score.
Well, he has been spot on with his penalties this season. Has Will Patching. That's his third of the season. Scored against Athlone in the Cup and against Sligo Rovers, and Konovalov wasn't getting anywhere near that one. It's his fifth goal of the season. It's Derry City 1, Tobyl 0, 1-1 in aggregate, and we have played 15 minutes of this game. Plenty of goals for the Scottish sides in action tonight as well. Hearts and Rosenborg, that one's 1 each already. That one's at Tynecastle. Rosenborg at home from the first leg, and Hibs have gone 1-0 up away to Lucerne, so that puts them 3-1 up on aggregate. So what now are the Kazakhstanis made of as they fall behind pretty early on in this away leg for them? They got the lead goal out in their home patch about midway inside the second half. They've given away a free kick. The scorer of that goal in the first leg as Rankalov, and Derry have a free kick. Paul McMullen to take, and City are in a good place right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what it reminds me, Eric, and the Coups and the Torshavn was the same. The Coups, when Derry City increase the tempo and go almost a little bit unstructured but high tempo, aggressive, none of these teams can live with them. Now, I understand that you can't do that for 90 minutes. You've got to pick and choose your time, but it's great to know that when Derry City have to score or have to go and get it, that they can do it. They can increase the tempo.
So free kick for City into the penalty area. It's going to come out towards Diallo. Diallo back to Ronan Boyce. Takes it into the 6-yard area, headed away, and it comes out now towards Adam O'Reilly and back towards the goalkeeper Brian Maher. Well, Liam Coyle is sitting in the studio, or regular match analyst, taking this game in. Liam, what about that penalty in the start that Derry have made here to the second leg?
Well, it's definitely a penalty, Eric, there's no doubt about it, and Mickey Duffy's been very, very clever. You could just see him as the ball was played in behind. He just held his run because he knew the centre half was coming across. It's a silly challenge, but Mickey's done really well. They bring the foul on, but again, as Gareth said, I think Derry, when Derry up the tempo and get at them and close them down, they look really fragile. They're wobbling a bit, but I think if Derry let them settle on it and pass it about, takes the sting out of the match. But at the minute, Derry are well on top.
Thank you, Liam. 18 minutes played here at Tallaght Stadium. Derry 1-0 up. They had to leave the Brandywell for a home leg game back in 2017. You may recall they had to go to the Sligo Showgrounds. That was due to the redevelopment of the Brandywell at the time. It was a non-event against Midtjylland, with the game pretty much out of sight from Derry's from the first leg out in Denmark. But Sam Todd did make his Derry City debut in that game, and he is on the substitutes bench. Here's Deblay now chasing down a toe ball attack, and Mark Connolly has conceded a corner kick, so this will be the first corner of the game for the visitors.
Yeah, that's a reminder there. Debley is quick and behind. I'm surprised that Tobyl haven't used that more often tonight. It seems like Derry are dropping deep, but as Liam says, see, when you give these boys time to pick their pass and build it up properly, they are dangerous. You need to get them up the pitch, but then when you do that, Debley can go in behind. So it's going to be a tough afternoon for McJanet and Conley.
Muchakov takes the corner kick. It's gone towards the back post, and Ivanovic did get on the end of it. Took a bounce, but Brian Maher clutches the ball safely, and then he bowls it out here towards Duffy, who's already had a major impact, a major say in this home leg, having won the penalty for Derry. Deblay, though, trying to come forward here for the visitors, linking up with the Ivanovic, and there is Adam O'Reilly. Well, he's short in stature, but he made sure he extended his leg there as much as he could to win that ball back just outside the penalty area, and McJanet's attempted clearance is blocked down, and it will be a throw in. Tobyl have been part of the Kazakhstan Premier League since its foundation in 1992, league champions just twice in 2010 and recently again in 2021. Not having an altogether great season this year. They are currently 7th in the table, 13 points off third place Astana, who occupy the final European qualifying spot. Derry with the ball over on the far side, just about 10 yards in the Tobyl half, with Ronan Boyce, and 20 minutes has gone on the clock, and the Derry fans making plenty of noise over on the far side of the ground, with their team leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of that Will Patching penalty, and it has brought the tie level pretty early on again. Here's Duffy now, who spins inside from his man Kirillov, and then Sharon Bietov has come in and fouled the Galliaman, so that will be a free kick, and Cameron McJanet has the ball at his feet.
Yeah, Kirillov having a nibble at Michael Duffy. I think he's fed up already. We're only 20 minutes in. He's fed up with Michael Duffy going past him. Kirillov, you see there, and Tobyl, every defender does it. They get them at the halfway line and they say, you know what, I'm going to have a nibble here, and it's not going to cost me team much. And he's just nibbled at Michael Duffy. The referee's kind of acknowledged that he's seen it, but anywhere else in the pitch than that could have been a yellow card. Well,
the weather has taken a bit of a nasty turn. It's starting to rain here now at Tala. The visitors trying to find some space in behind Ben Doherty with the ball targeted for Ivanovic, but Maher was well outside his penalty area to come and deal with it, and Illich now just sprays a pass over to Azrankulov over on the left hand side, and it's Vukadinovic. The ball is run out of play, waiting for somebody to make a decision here. It's Tobyl who have it. Vukadinovic just outside the penalty area, rolls it infield here to Illich, clips it in towards the penalty area. Ben Doherty is underneath it to head it away. We've reached the midpoint of the first half. 1-0 to City here on BBC Radio Foyle, and BBC Sounds also available on the BBC Sport NI website. Sharon Bietov just turning, looking to find a pass in towards that penalty area, but Derry in control, and now they slip it through in towards Diallo. It's sort of 3 against 3 here at the moment. Diallo, he's got McGonigal over to his right hand side. He elects to play it towards McGonigal, who then looks for the switch back across to Duffy. It's a poor ball from Jimmy McGonigal, and Tobyl will bring it away.
Eric, I am a massive Diallo fan, but how does he not pass that ball to Michael Duffy? Michael Duffy has gone past the right back 3 times. He's got the right back one-on-one. All he's got to do is pass it to Michael Duffy and take his man as far away from the ball as possible. Give him one-on-one. He's inside the box. You back him every day of the week. That's a shocking decision. He passed it out to Jimmy McGonigal. Jimmy McGonigal's not that type of player, one-on-one, to go past people.
The Tobyl head coach Milic Kurcic, it's not his first meeting with Derry City. He appointed to this particular job in January, but he was part of the Shakhtar Sologorsk management team that knocked Derry out back in 2014 in Belarus. and he's watched his side lose their 1-goal advantage pretty early on here at Tala. Remember, they took a lead from Finland in the first qualifying round, or from their home leg to Finland in the first qualifying round. Were able to see out a 0-0 draw on that occasion. Maybe they fancied themselves doing something similar here this evening, but they've conceded that penalty to Duffy, who this time has not been fouled, as Ivanovic brings it away. And now it's Muchakov, their 34-year-old midfielder, forward for Deblay, who's just a year younger. And Maher has the ball at his feet. Cameron McJanet with the captain's armband, of course, with Patrick McElhinney on the bench. The two McElhinneys among the substitutes, as Cameron McJanet is fouled inside his own half, and that will be a free kick for Derry, qualified for Europe this year after finishing second in the league last season, and won the FAI Cup as well, not all that far from here at the Aviva Stadium. Just so regrettable, isn't it, really, that they've just had to leave their Brandywell home, which doesn't meet UEFA stadium requirements for this stage of the competition. Here is Duffy going towards the corner flag. He's going to try and win a corner out of this off the number 24 Kirioff, but it will be a throw-in that he will have to settle for, and Doherty, the left back, will come forward to take it. 25 minutes played in this first half. Derry 1-0 in front. And there are some Derry fans that are located in the south stand behind the goal, as they make nothing off that throw-in. You were actually making the point, Gareth, in your new column in the Derry News. That's the only plug you're getting, by the way. But that Derry are better playing here at Tala than Windsor Park, because they're more familiar to coming to Tala.
Absolutely. If you think about the whole organisation of the fixture, so you look from a board point of view, a chairman point of view, a senior management point of view, and the management team and the players, everything is familiar. When you leave the Derry, where you're stopping, where you're staying, when you're eating, everything is easier. Then you bring it into the stadium. You've played here twice already this year. You've won one of the games, and you played really well in the second game, so you're comfortable in that sense. You don't want to be going up to Windsor Park, where you haven't played in ages. Most of the players have never played there.
Derry attack here. McGonigal put through by O'Reilly, forced a bit wide, tees it up for Duffy, right foot, rasping effort from Michael Duffy, but it was always bending outwards and just goes the wrong side off the post.
Yeah, Eric, he just had it on the outside of his foot. Had that been in the inside of the foot, the keeper wasn't getting there. The keeper dove after the ball went past the post. He wasn't getting there anyway, but it was very unlucky. But brilliant run by Jimmy in behind, and then he set Michael Duffy up well. There's no doubt about it. Michael Duffy and Adam O'Reilly have been the two standout players in the first 25 minutes.
Michael Duffy has 3 European goals for Derry City, which puts him one behind Rory Patterson, who's also here working tonight for RTE. Ivanovic on the halfway line here on the right hand side. Back to Kirioff, and now it's with their number 14, who is Sharon Pietov. He's just dropping back. Tobyl, last season they exited the competition at this stage, losing to Mostar from Croatia. They were initially in the Champions League in the first qualifying round, where they lost to Ferencvaros. Here's Ivanovic now. He's just got inside the Derry penalty area. He's running at Doherty. Danger here from Ivanovic. Poked it past Brian Maher, but it was Cameron McJanet who stuck out a leg and put it behind for a corner kick.
Listen, I said before the match, I thought Chesnikov was a big blow. This boy's just as good. But the big thing is, and Liam and myself touched on it, once they slow the game down, Tobyl, they slow it down until they get into the final third, and then they're electric. That literally came from the left winger all the way over to the right hand side. He got Ben Doherty one-on-one, and he went past him very easily.
Important block there from McJanet. Deblay was coming in at the back post. Muchakov takes the corner kick. Derry have defended it, and it's come off a Tobyl player last, so it will be a throw in to the home team. We are approaching half an hour gone here after that defeat to Ferencváros that I was telling you about last season. They dropped down to the Europa Conference League, where they beat Lincoln Red Imps from Gibraltar before going out then to the side from Croatia. They won the Intertoto Cup in 2007. For those of you who remember that competition, which didn't last too long. Ball now reaches Boyce over on the far side. McMullen goes scampering after it, but tidy piece of defending from Milatovic, their Serbian centre half, and they have the ball inside their own box. Not the greatest of clearances. Ben Doherty dives, stoops low, diving header, puts it out for a throw out just down in front of us. Ben Doherty making his 90th Derry City appearance here this evening across 2 spells. 26-year-old. Played a pretty big role in Korean adventures in Europe a couple of years ago against Maribor and Motherwell, where his penalties proved pretty crucial. Ball up to McJanet. He sort of had a missed kick at that. We'll not talk about penalties just yet, although it is from a penalty that Derry have got themselves level here in this tie as we pass the half-hour mark. 1-0 they lead on this Thursday evening here in South Dublin. Brian Maher, the man from Raheny, to Connolly, who says he spent most of the flight out to Kazakhstan playing Mario Kart. Here's ball up to the Tobyl centre half, Rogic, another Serbian at the heart of their defence. They're just content to keep hold of possession here now. The Kazakhstanis in their white shirts, green shorts, green socks, before going back to Konovalov, the 28-year-old, in their goal. Derry, of course, with more cup action to come on Sunday, when they will host St Patrick's Athletic in the second round of the FAI Cup. The Derry, of course, the holders. So, well, every game right now just seems really important. But here, they are trying to reach the playoff round of the Europa Conference League for the first time. They would just be one round away from the group stages. Only 4 League of Ireland teams have reached the group stages in Europe. Shamrock Rovers twice and Dundalk twice. But all of those sides kicked off their campaign in the Champions League. Here's Muchakov now in the Derry half here. Tobyl with a good spell of possession, not really doing anything to hurt Derry with it, and then the end result is that it goes out of play, and Ivanovic is just walking a wee bit gingerly as he looks to recover from a bit of a knock that he has picked up. 33 minutes played here, and it's the Derry fans making as much noise as they can over on the far side. The most vociferous section will be at the end of the ground that Derry will be playing into the second half. Here is Deblay now. Deblay, edge of the D, surrounded by plenty of red shirts, but he has got it out to Rankalov here. It was his left foot that did the damage in the first leg, but this time he opts to clip the ball in towards the penalty area and there was Duffy back helping out his defenders to head it away for a throw in, level with the 18-yard box over on the far side, and it's back here now to Milatovic. Rogic looking for the searching ball in towards the penalty area. It's been cut out, and now Patching brings it under control. Illich, loose ball from him, goes straight to McMullen, the Scotsman. He's looking to set off over on that side of the pitch, but it's unsuccessful. And now it's here on the near side. Ivanovic showing a close control, linking up with Muchakov. Now DeBlay's forced out down this right hand side. He's got McJanet for company, and McJanet has a stab at that ball and knocks it into the empty east stand here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tobyl have been very comfortable in the last 5 or 6 minutes. This is what we don't want. We don't want them to slow the game down. What they're doing, they're slowing the game down. They're dragging Derry left, they're dragging them right, and then in that final third, they're really injecting some good pace into the attacks. But we don't need that. We can't do this for the next hour. We've got to get the ball back, get some possession, and get comfortable and get up the pitch.
Well, Derry have got possession back here with Diallo now, who's looking to stride forward with it. The 24-year-old former Manchester City youth, Patching, teammate of his from their Man City days. Cross whipped in towards the box. Here's Duffy. Oh, defender has done well. He's got close to Duffy, and he has alive to the danger on that occasion. Kirioff. And now it's with Ivanovic here on the halfway line. DeBlay looking to make a run down the right hand channel. Ivanovic picks him up. He just about keeps the ball in play. He's going to have a run at McJanet here. McJanet times his challenge to perfection, and then with a pass to the available Patching.
Brilliant by McJanet, absolutely outstanding. One-on-one with DeBlay. He gets past him there, Derry are in trouble. He just bided his time. He made the tackle at the right time. Brilliant defending.
We have 35 minutes played off the first half here. Derry City 1, Tobyl 0, and that's 1-1 on aggregate. Remember, away goals do not come into play anymore in these European ties, so Derry don't need to get too concerned about that, but coming back from Kazakhstan without an away goal, and they've got themselves level now again, so Rory Higgins will be very pleased with the position that they're in right now. And here is Ben Doherty. It could get even better. Head towards the box, just goes beyond David's Duffy. Here's Ivanovic now to bring it away down the right hand side, plays it ahead of himself to Sharon Bietov, and Connolly across to tidy up back to his goalkeeper Maher. Patching to McMullen on the halfway line, looking to get McGonigal in. He's inside the box. Jimmy McGonigal still trying to go, and eventually he loses control of the ball, and the Tobyl defenders deal with the situation.
Yeah, I love it. Patching just picks the ball up in the middle of the park, and again he finds McMullen that inside right position, and he's playing that position all night, and nobody is going in. The left back doesn't want to go in there, the left winger doesn't want to go in there, and the two centre midfielders don't want to pick him up. So he's picking up that position, and once he gets it, we know what he's like. He just as direct as anything. But in that instance, the defenders came to meet him, and then he just put it in behind for Jamie. Now Jamie, I thought was going to take a shot on his right, but he chopped in beautifully. It looked as if he was just going to place it with his left foot, and in fairness to the defender, he got back and got a tackle in. But I have to say, that left hand side of Tobyl, the left back and the left hand centre half are very, very good. They're quick, they're athletic, and they don't give much up, and it's the complete opposite on this right hand side. The Rogic boy, the four who's right of the centre halves, he is not good. Derry are just leaving him on it, and he's kicking it out of play and he's giving it away, and the right back Michael Duffy has got him on toast.
Well, Connolly was fouled for off the ball for a Derry free, and the Monaghan man looks to send this one down the line, but well, he's put a bit of polish on his boots as he sliced that one, and it's gone out for a throw in. What have we left here for this first half? A little under 7 minutes to go in this second leg tie. Mentioned Derry's cup game against St Patrick's Athletic on Sunday. They're next due in league action back here in Dublin against Bohemians. The exact scheduling of that league game will obviously depend on whether Derry advance into the playoff round here or not. Duffy has won the throw-in off the fullback, which Ben Doherty is going to come forward to take. 6 minutes of the first half here on Radio Foyle to play. Doherty takes the throw in, Patching lays it off towards Duffy. Has he been fouled there by Muchakofi? Has indeed. Free kick for Derry, pretty central area, and possibilities here perhaps.
Yeah, brilliant by Duffy as well. I've called it 40 minutes in. Michael Duffy has done everything that you could ask of him in this 40 minutes. He's won a brilliant free kick. Patchy's just asking for it to be moved forward. If anybody saw the Messi goal for Miami or Inter Miami recently, he got the ball and he moved it forward 3 or 4 yards. We need Patchy to do that now, because from here it's at a bad angle and it's just a wee bit too far out. Listen, we've said this before about Will Patchin, and he's proved this wrong. Let's hope he does the same now.
40th minute of the game. Derry have a free kick. We've seen Patchin test Conavolov with one in the first half that the goalkeeper was less than convincing about. Patchin's going for goal again, and this one is well dealt with, sufficiently dealt with by Conavolov, as you would expect him to do so there. Patchin not really going to trouble him with that particular effort. So we have less than 5 of the first half to go, and Tobyl bringing the ball out from the back, play it forward here towards their skipper. Now up to Deblay to Ivanovic, shows too much of that to Ben Doherty. Ben Doherty's pass goes in towards the central area, but that's a terrific ball from Illich right over that left hand side. Superbly timed challenge though from the Ramelton man at right back, Ronan Boyce, and Illich has got another sliding tackle in there on McMullen, so it's going to be a throw in for Derry. 4 minutes off the first half here to go. The throw in being taken pretty close to the tunnel, with the dressing rooms beneath the bandstand over on that side of the ground. Referee's whistle sound, so free kick it's going to be for Derry, as the visiting manager out there at the edge of his technical area, all in black, and then those white runners as he walks over and back from the technical area, across the technical area. Doherty now to Diallo here. McJannis going to have to go back to his goalkeeper Maher with this one. The winners of this tie will be going to the Czech Republic in the next round. Rogic with the header towards the halfway line. Sharon Bietov. Here is Illich, centre circle. The player, the midfielder, with 2 league goals this season from Bosnia and Herzegovina. But Derry with the ball at their feet. The goal scorer, Will Patchin. What's he going to do here? Patchin rolls it across, look for McMullen. The pass wasn't right, and as Rankelov clears it up to the front line, McJanet's header just goes to Ivanovic. Deblay is looking to peel off towards the right hand side. Now he's making a central run, Deblay, and McJanet comes across and makes amends, and then Ivanovic then tries a spectacular acrobatic effort, which is well over the crossbar.
Yeah, brilliant by McJanet again. The belly, you could see him, Ivanovic, he was looking for him the whole time. He just never got away from McJanet. McJanet stuck to his guns, and then at that crucial time again, he just got a foot in, because that was a dangerous opportunity. That was the first time that Tobyl have got 3-on-3 at the back with Derry.
Liam Coyle's back on a Radio Foyle studio with Desi. We'll be getting his half-time analysis as well. There's about 2 minutes here to go. Derry, as it stands, are going to take a 1-goal lead into that break, but Duffy and Patchin just combining here in their attempts to maybe even increase Derry's lead before the half-time whistle sounds. Adam O'Reilly, the Cork man, actually played in this round of the competition last season with CSKA Sofia. Derry looking for a handball, and they've got a free kick over on that far side. O'Reilly was suspended for the first 2 legs of this European run. They actually played that match at Tala as well. They won the first leg out in Bulgaria by 2-1, and then were beaten at 2-0 here. Free kick as we move into the 45th minute of the first half. Rory Higgins watches on. Ben Doherty with his left boot now to take the free kick, headed away by the Tobyl defence. Now it comes towards Mark Connolly, looking to spin inside the box there, but eventually crowded out. Now it's with Diallo to Jimmy McGonigal as he got a quarter out of it. He has indeed. Quarter kick for Derry right in the last few seconds of the first half here.
Yeah, brilliant. I honestly thought Mark Connolly was going to turn and had a shot there. Did really well to hold it up, but the defender got a block on. This is a great opportunity just before half time to put some pressure, and I would like to see all of the Derry City players in and around this goalkeeper, because we know he doesn't like crosses, and we know he's not good at
well, they're not really doing that just now, but Patching puts it in. It's deep towards the back post. The ball's headed high up in the air by Duffy, who's a bit frustrated with how that all worked out in the end. And that actually brings us now to the end of the 45 minutes, and we're going to have just the 1 additional minute of added time at the end of the first half of this second leg in this third qualifying round tie, played in front of a huge Derry crowd, it has to be said. A terrific following that have come down from Derry for this tie, which is very much game on as we come to the end of the first half. There still might be time though for one last Derry chance. Here is Patching now. Patching wide to McMullen. McMullen ball in towards the box, comes off a Tobyl head, but that ricochets it through into Konovalov, who's hurriedly booted that ball forward, looking to get one of his front men away, but it's gone all the way through towards the goalkeeper, Brian Maher. Referee has a little check of his watch there. Still time to play as Jimmy McGonigal looks to chase this ball down. Miladvich puts it out for a throw in, and that is indeed the end of the first half. And just listen to the roar of the Derry fans on the far side as they applaud their team going off at half time. So too does Kenny Cunningham down in front of us. The City leading by a 0-0. Penalty won by Duffy, converted by Patching, and that brings the tie level at 1 apiece. Gareth McGlynn, your thoughts on the opening 45 minutes?
Couldn't have went any better for Rory Higgins' team. Perfect first half. They got the goal. They know now where the weakness is down that right hand side, and some very good performances. Don't get me wrong, Tobyl, when they get comfortable and they get passing the ball and you give them time on it, they are still extremely dangerous. But Rory Higgins will not be fearing anything in the next 45 minutes, and we just need more of the high tempo, aggressive, almost direct approach that has got Derry City the goal tonight and has got them the goals in the previous rounds.
It is beautifully poised here at half-time in this second leg. Derry 1-0 in front, and that makes it 1-1 on aggregate. Back to you, Desi.
Thanks to Eric and Gareth. We'll be back in good time for the second half. Liam Coyle's alongside me here back in the Radio Foyle studios. Liam, it's game on. It's the perfect start for Derry.
Good first half. Derry have set themselves up really well, made themselves hard to break down, you know, keeping that shape and that low block that they have at the minute. Tobyl, you can see that Rory has worked on them trying to play through it, but they're keeping their shape really well. Only once or twice they've been caught there, but apart from that there, you know, Derry, once they got the goal, Tobyl come out of it, Derry started hitting them on the break. Alright, neither keeper has had really much to do, but you can see it's just one pass away from getting that goal.
We've spoke about it over the last couple of seasons that too often Derry City haven't started games quick enough. They have got their mojo back in recent weeks and recent times, and again tonight they started well.
Well, they started well, and again, Paul McMullen has made such a difference to them since he's come in, because he's so direct. likes to get at people, gets you up the pitch. So that means then that other people are going along him. As Gareth said, down that right hand side, Tobyl are struggling. You know what I mean? They can't put two passes together. I mean, McMullen, even though he's only put one or two balls in, but he's running, and McGonagall's getting up that side as well too. Once you do that, they're a decent side, but they're not a great side. So you've got to believe that if we get after them here early, there's a chance that you'll unsettle them. You make chances. You see Duffy on one side and McMullen the other, going at people, turning them, and then that brings your midfield up along me. In recent times when Derry are playing, it's been pass in the middle. Loose teams, they settle down, get in there, and Derry can't break them down. Now at the minute, they have two wingers who are really getting at their fullbacks.
You mentioned McMullen there, and when Eric and Gareth were commentating during the first half, we spoke on sort of a comparison with Paul Kinnaird from 25 or 30 years ago. But they have similarities in the fact that when they beat a man, they don't want to beat him again. They get the ball on the dangerous areas. It's not thumped across the penalty area. It's just put into a dangerous area. And if Derry can get on the end of one of them, another one of them, then it could be the difference between going through and not going through.
Well, it could be, yeah. But the thing about McMullen, what it gives you as a centre forward, instead of making 2 or 3 runs, you're only making one. If you see him getting past the fullback, you're saying to yourself, right, well, I can get in here. Whereas before it was like, no harm to Ryan Green. Ryan Green was a hard-working right-sided midfielder. His quality wasn't there. So if you're playing up front, you didn't know what you were going to get. With McMullen, you know what you're getting. If he goes past the fullback, he's putting the ball in the box. So you make a run. That means the end of it, he misses it. Duffy's coming in the back, and you're one of your midfielders who could fall to them. Whereas before, Derry were getting into positions and then it was coming back out. If you were a centre forward, you were making one run, coming out, making 2 runs because it's not going in. Now all of a sudden you're only making 1 run and it's unsettling at the back four, and it's been happening the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I have to say, McMullen looks a lot fitter, and you're right. Paul Kinnaird was exactly the same when he was playing with us. It was simple football. Bit the fullback and get it in the box.
The penalty. It was a penalty. The referee was seen enough of it, but Mickey Duffy was clever.
Oh, Duffy seen the centre half coming on, and you could just see as Mickey's going down, he sees him coming across, and he just checks a wee bit. We're just watching it here. He just checks. Look, he just holds there a bit. Look, then he goes. As soon as he sees that the full or the centre half coming, you just see, look, Mickey just holds it there, and then he just goes, and that touch, he gets there first, and it's the arm from behind the nets. It looks a bit soft. But you can see the arm has made enough contact with him for the referee to give it.
And Patching, coolness personified, took it well. And to be fair to Patching, we have been critical of Patching at stages this season. And there have been people that have said to me we've been a wee bit unfair on him. I don't think we have, but he's rediscovered his mojo in the last couple of weeks. And we're beginning to see the Will Patching that was there last season.
Well, we all know he's got ability, Desi. There's no doubt about it. And when he plays well and he sees a pass, when he sees it quicker, it's when he slows it down too much. That's when, and I think the problem is at times maybe Rory didn't know what the best 3 in there was. At times they suit him. Either Patrick, Patching, O'Reilly. It's Diallo. He's got 2 holding midfielders on the night, so he doesn't have to do that work. If you get Patrick in there, then you're asking him to do a bit more, and it's not his game. Now, he looks a bit fitter than he did at the start of the season. He obviously had carrying a couple of injuries. But when he's playing well and he's linking up with Duffy, there's no better player in this country.
Rory, to be fair to Rory, tactically, he was offensive. They didn't play well in the Faroe Islands, but they got the result that they needed. He was very offensive in Finland. They had a go. He knew he could have a go. He knew there were weaknesses. And to be fair to him, he's come out here with offensive tactics as well. So he deserves a wee bit of credit. But when Derry are on the front foot, Derry are the better of these two sides.
Oh, 100%. Tobyl have created very little. You can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get it under the middle and play with triangles and try and bring the 2 Derry midfielders out so they can play them defeat and then make it runners off them. But Derry have kept their shape really well. And even last week, I didn't think Tobyl were that impressive last week. I thought They had a couple of technically good players. Now, that's not to say that this match is over, but I think if there's anybody going to go and score another goal, it's going to be Derry, because Tobyl have created, apart from that one chance where the winger's going past Ben Doherty and tried to put it in the box. Apart from that, they've created none.
Derry have put an awful lot of energy into the first half. Do they need a second goal? Is that we said at the start of the game maybe that the first goal was crucial? Is the second goal more crucial now?
Well, it is now, because it's the game now. It's a 50-50 game now. While Derry are on top, they need to get the second goal, because I think if they get a second goal, they'll get a third goal, because it'll bring Tobyl out even more. And you can. I mean, you talk about defensively, they're not. Their two centre halves are decent. Their fullbacks are decent, but their midfielders just want to go forward. They're leaving gaps in there, and I think Derry will exploit that. So if Derry can get that second goal, I think they'll go and score a third.
The only time that Derry, in any way, and they didn't really leave themselves open at any stage, but there was a period of 5 minutes, maybe about 35 minutes into the first half, when Derry allowed Tobyl to dictate the pace of play, and that's when Tobyl actually looked a half decent side, because Derry took their foot off the pedal. Now, it's difficult to keep your foot on the pedal for 90 minutes, and it's difficult to dominate any game for 90 minutes, but Derry need to be wary that they don't allow this crowd to gain in confidence and play at their pace.
Well, Derry don't want to be playing on their Easler box. Derry don't want to be pushed back and letting them. And as I spoke to you, and this is one thing I disagree with Gareth at the start. I felt Derry should have got after them from the very start, unsettled them, get after them. I don't think they're as good as our teams that run on this tournament. So I think get after them, really put it up to them, make sure they know that they're on a fight. But the minute you let them settle and you sit back and you let them dictate play, then you're under pressure straight away. Because the first thing, as we spoke about this before, the first thing that you do, right, hold what we have, and then you're only playing on the break, and then you haven't got the ball for 75% of the time. So I think if Derry can just get that energy up now, get on now at half time, get their break, sit down and come out fresh again. But he's got a bench here to choose from now that he can freshen it up. That's the beauty about Derry City at the minute. They can change it now. If they see somebody getting a bit fatigued and struggling in the second half, make a couple of changes and just boost the team again, just boost their energy levels.
So you think Derry have to come out in the front foot and get at it again, because they can unsettle?
I think
this and something else, like we mentioned it before the game when we were off air and we were chatting. You didn't think this. I think last week they might have had 7 yellow cards or something around that, but you didn't think they were overly physical. It's more niggly, silly tackles that they're not a big physical.
Well, I was chatting to Paddy McLaughlin the other day about it, and Paddy said to them, because you were expecting them, he said they weren't overly physical. He said they weren't overly physical, which we were surprised at. He said, but technically they had 3 or 4 really good players on the ball, and then he said their defenders would have came and won the challenges and got them up the pitch. Whereas the midfield, he felt that Derry were more than a match for them physically and there, you know what I mean? So you look at the many fouls they've given away, and it's not bad fouls, it's not thing. It's just late tackles and giving the ball away and then trying to get it back again. And Derry just haven't made enough of it, because Derry have had a lot of balls around the box where they just haven't tested the keeper.
And we were surprised maybe that Patrick McElhinney didn't start the game, but Patrick McElhinney is still there to influence the game if Rory needs him off the bench. We probably will see him maybe with 20 minutes remaining. But would you change anything at the minute if you were Rory Higgins?
No, I wouldn't change anything just now. I would give it 10-15 minutes to see how it's going. And I think now at the minute that the team are set up, they do what they're supposed to do. I think, as you say, we have an hour to go. You could bring on Kavanagh, you could bring on Patrick Dummigan, you know what I mean? You could bring on players that will give you that. Without weakening the team, it'll still be solid, but you'll have that bit more quality. I just think O'Reilly and Diallo, while they're working extremely hard, they don't give you that quality that Dummigan and McElhinney do. And maybe Rory's waiting to see. Maybe he's expecting a bit of a onslaught here in the first 15 minutes from Tobyl. Like, let's not forget about it. It's still 1 each here. There's still, both sides will be saying, right, it's only half time in this game now. This game's here to be won, so don't be giving nothing away in the first 10-15 minutes.
Gareth mentioned as well, having watched the game last week, that they believe that the keeper is weak on cross balls, and it might be an opportunity. And while he's not technically the greatest centre forward that Derry City have ever had, Cian Kavanagh can be a nuisance if he can get himself in there, and that may be an option that Derry exploit, because Jamie McGonigal has found it difficult in the first half.
Well, one thing about Jamie is he's a willing runner. Do you know what I mean? He'll run on behind and he'll give you that there. If when you're struggling to get out, he can put the ball on behind, and he's got the pace to get on behind. Sometimes he lacks the quality. They link up the play. And because he's got on a few times and he's picked the wrong pass, whereas you can throw Kavanagh on, big battering ram, 1 free kicks for you, get you up the field, because it'll get a bit. In the second half, you expect Tobyl they put a bit more energy and a bit more tempo into their play. So but then that's what I'm saying. The first 10, 15 minutes, Rory will have a better idea of what way he wants to go. Then after that.
So what will Rory Higgins' message be to the Derry City players in there now?
His message now will be, don't be giving anything away. Do not be giving anything away. Keep this going. The longer this goes on, the more it'll suit Derry rather than Tobyl, because by the looks of things, the travelling has affected them a bit, because they're very sluggish on it at the minute. You hope they'll be hoping their legs, they can get that out of their legs very quickly. But at the minute, Rory's message was, don't give nothing away, because if we give something away here now, we're chasing it again. Keep it tight, because there'll be more chances.
Liam Coyle, for the moment, thanks for that. And we'll find out if Rory Higgins has made any changes, and indeed if he will keep it tight, because the players are coming back out for the second half at the Tallaght Stadium. So we'll return there now to Gareth McGlynn and Eric White.
Thank you, Desi. Welcome back. Well, I can tell you no changes to report on either side at half time. Tobyl first back out after the break. Derry now on the pitch as well, and we're almost set to go for the second half. There was a shower of rain during that first 45 minutes, but that has cleared, and so far so good for the Candy Stripes, who will defend the goal away to our left in this second half. Tobyl in their white shirts, green shorts and green socks will get the second half underway with the blast of the Slovakian referee's whistle. We are up and running again here as things stand, and there's a long way to go of course in this match, but extra time would be required if there are no further goals. But Derry with the 1-0 advantage. That first half penalty from Will Patching, the difference here in the night, cancelling out Tobyl's goal in Kazakhstan a week ago. They had one moment themselves, the visitors, but a brilliant clearance from the leg of McJanet kept Derry in front. Interesting discussion there at half time, Gareth. In terms of Tobyl, do you expect to see much change from them now in the second half?
No, but
what do you expect might they change?
I definitely think that from their Serbian manager they got a few red ears in there, because granted in the first half they created a couple of half chances, but they never really laid a glove on Derry. They had a bit of possession, but when they got into the final third, bar that one time where Ivanovic got past Ben Doherty and McJanet just put it just wide, they didn't really create much. They threatened a little bit, but you've got to be creating more than that. And Derry City, in fairness, they got into some really good positions and created a couple of chances, but it's set up perfectly. I mean, I don't see them doing anything different. I don't see Derry doing anything different. But what you've got to understand now is, when do Derry play their hand? When do they play the Patrick McElhinney hand? When does he get his 50th appearance? Because we have seen over the last 3 or 4 weeks trying to manage this Achilles, it's almost worked in Rory Higgins' as advantage. Patrick McElhinney has a huge effect on this football club, the football team, in a match day. He improves everybody by 5-10%, and that's what we'll be hoping again for tonight.
Well, let's just run you down the two team lineups as Derry have a throw in midway inside the Tobyl half. Derry with A back four of Boyce, Connolly, McJanet and Doherty in front of Maher, Diallo, Patchin, O'Reilly, McMullen, Duffy and McGonigal. And for the visitors, it's Konovalov in goal, Kiryov, Rogic, Milatovic as Rankalov. In midfield, Sharmbietov, Muchikov and Ilic. And then their front three, Ivanovic, Vukadinovic and Deblay. And that Tobyl team showing two changes from last Thursday's first leg. The one for Derry, the manager Rory Higgins opting for Jimmy McGonigal ahead of Cian Kavanagh. Here's Duffy, light on his feet as ever. Ball in towards his box over the head though of Jimmy McGonigal. Not the measure of the cross that we would expect from the talent of Michael Duffy, and the ball drifts out for a goal kick. Konovalov, all in yellow. Derry attacking the new North Stand. We're not quite sure when it's going to be ready. We were first here in March, Gareth, for the first league meeting of the season between Derry City and Shamrock Rovers. When we come back in June, we're expecting to see some progress. Still look the same, and here we are now, a couple of months on, and either the money has dried up here around South Dublin or what, I don't know, but we're still waiting for the seats to be added anyway. But it will be an impressive job when it's done, that's for sure.
I tell you what's happened, Derek. They thought they were going to qualify for the group stages of the Europa Conference, and it just did not happen. So they said, right,
so that the urgency budget was taken out of it.
That 1.2 million that we had budgeted to get from the Europa Conference League, let's halt all construction at the current costs. And it hasn't. But as you say, it's going to be spectacular when it's finished.
Well, it is, of course, owned by the South Dublin Council. Here is Tobyl coming forward. Muchikov, shot is blocked. It's sourced by O'Reilly, and now Derry can break on it here. It's with McMullen. McMullen, he's got Duffy out to his left. Here is Duffy, takes on the shot, takes a deflection, ricochets about. Duffy with the follow-up, and that's gone wide.
Brilliant by McMullen again. I don't understand how Tobyl are not marking him when he goes into that inside right position. Same thing again. It was just a simple pass. It was actually a block by Adam O'Reilly. It dropped to McMullen. McMullen has ran from the edge of his own box to the edge of Tobyl's box, and it's funny, he picked the right pass. So Jamie had pulled to the right, and Duffy had gone left, and McMullen took his time. Kind of gauged where was the best pass, give it to Duffy, and Duffy shifted it beautifully and had a great shot. And I tell you, if that hadn't been blocked, I would have loved to have seen it trying to hit the keeper, because it was going at good pace.
Here is Vukadinovic now, who's over here on our near side. We'll get a better look at him. The Serbian scored 2 goals against Honka in that first qualifying round tie. Sweeping pass here to Azrankulov, looking to get forward. Here is Vukadinovic now. His pass to Ilic, ambitious shot. It did take a nick off Adam O'Reilly. Brian Maher just having to watch that ball come all the way through to him. He's conceded 5 goals in their 5 European ties before tonight, just 24 overall for the season. Made a really big save in that home leg against Coops when Derry were trailing 1-0 to the Finnish side, and he was called into action on a couple of occasions as well out in Kazakhstan. That chance that Chesnikov went through 1-on-1 looked a certainty as if he was going to score, but Maher prevented him from doing so. And such fine margins could be so important come the end of tonight. Connolly's attempted ball forward ricochets off Deblay, who is on a yellow card from the first half. Is Deblay for his protests for the awarding of that Derry penalty. Ivanovic over on the far side, just in front of the Derry technical area. Tala here, home to the Candy Stripes. They'll be hoping for more than just the one night. Their ambition will be to be back here again next Thursday night and host the Czech outfit
Do you think Dublin City Council will finish the stand for us?
I would say that's probably unlikely, Gareth, but if you've got some influence there, you can check it out. Here is DeBlay. Oh, has he been? No, he hasn't been fouled just outside the box. Referee tells him to get up, get on with it, and DeBlay is having a real confrontation there with Cameron McJanet.
Yeah, the referee was in a good position, but the linesman was in an even better position. He's got to make that decision.
Duffy, ball towards the box, gone over. McGonigal just looked for a second if it was going to drop kindly for him on his head, but as Rankeloff is forced to tuck that behind for a corner kick. 7.5 minutes gone here at the start of this second half. Derry 1-0 up, that's 1-1 in aggregate, and they've got a corner kick, and Ben Doherty coming across to take it. The floodlights here in Tala growing ever brighter now as the skies start to darken, and Doherty will take the corner kick. Plenty of red shirts in the Tobyl penalty area. Doherty sends it in, keeper comes, he gets a hand to it, comes out towards McGonigal, he makes a block. I think it was the goalkeeper that got the block. McGonigal releases it back out towards Ben Doherty, he plays it towards McMullen, looking to skip past one or two of the Kazakhstani players. Diallo back in towards McMullen, across the 6-yard box, headed away. Was that a hand off the arm of Conley? It was indeed, frustratingly so. Referee gives a free kick.
Yeah, just bounced up to the big centre half. It must have took a skid off the surface, because usually his control, but again we saw it in the first leg and then the second leg. It's a simple corner, it's a simple catch. There's actually nobody near the goalkeeper. He's come out, he's flapped at the ball, and it's dropped beautifully for Jamie. In fairness to the goalkeeper, he saved the shot then from Jamie, but he needs to be tested more. We've got to get the ball in and around him, and that's another thing. I kept talking about the Patrick McElhinney trump card. You've got the Cian Kavanagh card there as well. Cian Kavanagh, especially against the two centre halves, we've got to get balls into the box when he comes on.
Derry in such good form now. Of course, if you go back to their defeat here to Shamrock Rovers at the end of June, well, their only other loss, they've only lost once in 9 games since that, and that was the match away in Tobyl last Thursday. And they've put themselves right in contention, of course, to challenge Shamrock Rovers for the league title. 5 points behind them, but they have a game in hand, which is away to UCD, as Muchakov there has a pull at the shirt of Cameron McJanet, or a bit of a push and a pull, and the referee with the easy decision to make to give the Derry free kick and put an end to that Tobyl attack. And the visitors have sent 5 of their substitutes, which I think is probably the maximum that you're allowed out at any one time, to warm up down that side of the pitch in front of the main stand. Here they have it now towards their number 21, Vukadinovic. Ivanovic chasing after that one. I don't think, well, he has managed it from going out for a goal kick, but it will be a throw in. I wonder if they've considered registering Andrei Kanchelskis. I'm pretty sure he could still do a job for this this Tobyl team. Their general manager, who we understand is here tonight. He is inside Tala for this occasion, and the Derry fans now on their feet, full of red and white over on that far side. Brilliant sight, and their team doing them proud so far. But here is DeBlay now inside the box, in towards the area, ball teed up, and then the shot from Ivanovic has just gone wide. Well, Brian Maher was worried there for a second. It was a quick move from the visiting team inside that Derry penalty area, laid off eventually into the path of Ivanovic, but he just couldn't wrap his foot around it enough for it to go inside that post. and Derry can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's half a chance, Eric. DeBelly's done really well. It's the first time that he's got free in the box where he's able to do his thing. Once he gets in the box, it can be very tricky. He's just made half a yard. He's picked out the left winger, and then he's laid pure. And that's Ivanovic's strong foot as well. I was expecting him to go with his laces, but he's opened up his foot and he's tried to curl it into the far post, and he's just got it too wrong. It just never came back in round the post.
57 minutes on the clock. 1-0 Derry lead. McMullen comes inside. He just showed a little bit too much of that to Muchakov though. And here is Illich now, and he's trying to get Ivanovic away down the right hand side. I think Ben Doherty's in control of the situation though. He's just deciding what he's going to do. Does he go back to the goalkeeper? Does he put it out of play for a throw in? He got caught in between the two because he then lost his footing, and it's gone out for a throw in for the away side. And it's quickly onto it there is O'Reilly, and Patching bundled to the ground. Free kick. Home fans want a card. They do have a free kick.
Yeah, brilliant by O'Reilly as well. He read the danger very well. He's played really well in the first half, and he started the second half well as well. He's so important to this Derry team because he's the energy, he's the tenacious one that needs to go, and once he gets the tempo up, everybody else goes with him. It's almost infectious when he goes.
Hearts are 2-1 up against Rosenborg, so that tie is level. Here is Patchin. He's thinking about the shot here, is he? On his right foot, it's blocked. Derry, of course, the sole representative of the League of Ireland, and indeed the Irish League, just the only Irish club still standing in European competition. Diallo. Now quickly onto it there was Rogic, and here is Illich. Hibs are drawing one each in Switzerland, but that will be enough to put them through. I think Aston Villa join the competition in the next round, in the playoff round. That's the first of the English clubs. Ball's out here to the left hand side now as Rankelov coming forward. We seen what he could do with his left foot in that first leg, that thumping strike that give them the goal lead, but he hasn't really got into those attacking areas around the penalty area so far in this game, and they switch it over to the right hand side, trying to go in behind the Derry defence. Brian Maher, well, what's he's been fouled there as he came to claim that ball, and I think both Maher and the Kazakhstani player are both down hurt. They both, it was a high jump into the high leap into the air for both players, and I would say Maher in particular looks as if he's landed fairly awkwardly.
Eric, I don't understand what the striker's doing. It's pretty evident that the goalkeeper's going to get it, but he's just continued his run, and when Maher's gone up to collect the ball, now granted Maher only went up with one hand, it was quite casual the way he was trying to collect the ball, but the striker's just ran into him, and then of course you've seen it so many times when the other player's on the ground, then the goalkeeper, the defender, just rolls over their back and lands on their neck. Very, very dangerous. But I have to say, Eric, I have been massively disappointed in the 21, Vakanovic. He has looked as if, I mean, I talked about time zones in the first half. I don't know what time zone he's on. He hasn't kicked the ball, he hasn't looked for the ball. I'll be very surprised if he lasts another 5 or 10 minutes, because he was extremely good in the first leg. He was a big threat against Ronan Boyce, but Ronan Boyce has done well on him tonight, but the player himself, he just doesn't look interested.
Well, right now Derry are having to wait on their goalkeeper Brian Maher here, who's receiving some treatment down in that Derry penalty area. Remember, the number 2 goalkeeper with the club is Tig Ryan, brought in at the start of this season. He's just featured the once for City. That was in their quite recently, in fact, in their FAI Cup opening round game against Athlone Town, which they won by 3-0. It came in between the European games, and I'm not sure, looking across to the dugout, whether there's any concern or any need. Well, he is warming up, is Tig Ryan, as you would expect. The Limerick man, Brian Maher, sitting up now partially, and Derry certainly won't want to lose their former Republic of Ireland under-21 goalkeeper.
I tell you what, Eric, there's 2 or 3 players in this Derry City team that you do not want to see going down injured, and he is close to the top of the list. His performances over the last month have been incredible.
He's holding that shoulder. I don't like the look of this. He does seem to be in in a bit of pain with it. So Derry have a decision to make here, and I think are they preparing to make a change anyway over there with an outfield player? Well, Maher is going to continue for now anyway, by the looks of things. Perhaps he'll be able to shake it off, but we have passed what we're 62 minutes now. So Maher to continue on, but Derry ready to make at least one change very shortly. Referee says that's a foul on Rogic, so a free kick, and this Derry's double substitution coming very shortly now, and Patrick McElhinney is certainly one of the players who is about to come on for what will be his 50th appearance in European competition. The majority, of course, with the Dundalk teams, the successful Dundalk teams under Stephen Kenny that went to the group stages of Europe twice, back in 2016 and again in 2020. And Cian Kavanagh is the other player who is going to come on as well. So at this point in the game, 63 minutes played just right now, one of the Derry players, Patching, is also receiving treatment. Well, it's been a troublesome couple of minutes for Derry, and I think that's going to be the end of Patching's evening. It's given Brian Maher a bit of time for his recovery anyway, if nothing else. So off goes Patching, on comes Patrick McElhinney, and Jimmy McGonigal is coming off to be replaced by Cian Kavanagh. Gareth.
Yeah, absolutely. What an occasion for Patrick McElhinney. He's turned out to be an unbelievable role model around Derry. What an achievement. 50th appearance in Europe. It's incredible. He should be mightily proud. His family should be proud. His friends should be proud. But I tell you what, he'll shrug it off now. He's got a big job to do here. And you know what's more important? He's gone into that position that I love to see him in. He's gone into the 10 position. He's kind of been playing an 8 and a 6, but now he's gone into the 10. And I think he is most effective in that position. He can score goals, he can set up goals, he's got the composure, and he's now this season especially, he's got a serious work rate.
Well, in the all-time list of European appearances for League of Ireland players, McElhinney hitting the 50 mark, as former Dundalk teammates Gary Rogers on 54, Sean Gannon on 55, and Ronan Finn on 63. Tobyl looking to take a quick throw in here. So 65 minutes played on the clock. Patrick McElhinney, Derry's midfield, their talisman, is on the pitch here at Tallaght Stadium, and so too is Cian Kavanagh, and let's not underestimate the contribution that he has made in this European run as well for the Candy Stripes. 2 goals in the second qualifying round in both legs against Coops, the winner at the Brandywell, of course, and then he scored the opener out in Finland. So half of the 4 goals that he has netted this season for Derry coming in that round of the competition. Could he be the player to write his name into the headlines? 25 minutes off the 90 still to play here, and Tobyl lose possession of the ball in midfield. Here is Duffy now. Ben Doherty across to Mark Connolly. Connolly's gone for an ambitious ball over on the left hand side, as the beating of the drum seems to get louder and louder over that far side as this match progresses. The Derry fans certainly enjoying the occasion. Full credit to them. Thursday night, making the trip here to Tallaght. You think that there's enough of trips to Dublin during the League of Ireland season, but as somebody said before the game, it's a good problem to have. Here is Mark Connolly. Connolly to O'Reilly now. O'Reilly will surely see the run of Ronan Boyce down here on the right hand side. He goes for the shorter pass towards McMullen, and the Scotsman, the former Dundee man, not able to keep hold of the ball. Neither side really yet creating any meaningful chances in this second half. There was that curling effort from Ivanovic that went wide of the Derry target. And Duffy now, crunching challenge over there in front of the Derry dugout. That's clearly not happy about it, but referee allowing play to continue on. It's back now with the Derry goalkeeper Brian Maher. Well, we'll see if that shoulder injury that he had in the first half, whether that's going to have any consequences for him. At the moment he's playing the ball with his feet. We're exactly at the midpoint of the second half here in this second leg. Liam Coyle is back in studio for us. We heard from him at half time, and if I could bring you in again, Liam, at this 3/4 point of this second leg tie, what's your reading of this fixture right now? Where is the balance of power lie, do you think? No, we just don't have him there right now at the moment. We'll come back to that. Here is Ronan Boyce. Boyce looking to get McMullen away, and that's going to be a throw in for Derry City to take. Ronan Boyce 10 yards from the corner flag with this throw in for City into the penalty area. O'Reilly seemed to be pushed off the ball there. Here's Azrankalov, loops up into the air, drops at the feet of Mark Connolly. Connolly to O'Reilly, nice turn from O'Reilly, clips it towards the back post, just goes over Duffy, but it will be picked up by Ben Doherty. Derry putting on a bit of pressure here. LH clears it outside the box area, and Patrick McAleny trying to find Diallo with a pass there, didn't quite manage to do so. And it's Sharon Bietov looking to get DeBlay away here. He gets it infield towards Ivanovic. Here is Ivanovic, and there is Adam O'Reilly, who has not won the ball fairly in the eyes of the referee, and he's got a yellow card. Free kick for Tobyl outside the Derry penalty area. Danger here.
Ivanovic just come in. He just knew he was coming, very similar to the Duffy penalty in the first half. He just drew him in and he just nicked the ball away from him. It's definitely a free kick, and it's in a dangerous position. Very like Patchin's free kick in the first half, only this time it's in the other side, but it's a little bit more central, which will suit the attacker or the free kick taker. I have to say, Kurioff made an unbelievable clearance there, and from the cross from O'Reilly, it was a brilliant header at the back stick. Listen, Duffy's given him a wild night on that left hand side, or as him as a right back, but he did really well there for his team.
70 minutes played on the clock. The Kazakhstanis have got a free kick as the rain blows in off the Dublin mountains, and it's a little bit further out than I initially thought, but it's Ivanovic who's going to take it. It's at least 25 yards out from that goal of Brian Maher. Also there as well is Muchakov. Rogic as well is having a look at it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's suiting Ivanovic's left foot from here. It's perfect for that. If he gets it on target, we'll soon find out what Brian Maher's shoulder's like.
And we'll also find out what Ivanovic can do from a set piece from this range here on BBC Radio Foyle. 20 minutes of normal time in this second leg to go. Referee waiting to blow the whistle for the free kick to be taken. He's done it now. Ivanovic takes it, and that won't test Brian Maher. Huge roar goes up from the Derry fans as that one sails harmlessly over the crossbar.
Yeah, he was just looking to get too much power on it. As you say, Eric, the free kick was probably about a yard and a half forward. I don't know why the referee brought it back, but that yard and a half meant that Ivanovic was really going to have to get a lot of power and a lot of whoop on it, and to get both in it is really, really difficult, and get that recipe right, but it was nowhere near where he wanted to be.
Hibs are now 2-1 down in their tie. I think they've still got a goal advantage in that one, but it's just made life a little bit less comfortable for the Edinburgh side. Now it's with Ivanovic runs into a cluster of Derry players. He was never going to find a way through that, and then Duffy's been chopped down over the far side. The referee's surely going to have to think about a card here for Kirioff, who does go in to the notebook. I don't think the referee had any chance, A, because of the foul, and B, because of the reaction on the Derry bench there.
Eric, Kirioff did the same thing in the first half, and I said he was very lucky to get it, not to get a yellow card, but he's hit him hard there, and that's just the simple one that defenders love to do. They love to get their attackers out into the halfway mark, really put in a hard challenge and say, you know what, you've taken a hand out of me for 45 minutes, you're not going to do it for another 45 minutes.
Free kick is taken. They switch the play over here to Connolly. O'Reilly, first time ball forward. This could drop awkwardly for the centre half. Kavanagh's got there first. McMullen saved by the foot of the Kazakhstani goalkeeper Konovalov, who keeps his team in the tie. Well, Paul McMullen looking for his first Derry goal. He must have thought that was going to be the moment. The chance still not gone here, but Illich is there to block the ball in towards the penalty area. Best chance of this second half, that's for sure. The danger still alive for Derry, but DeBlay is back now to pick it up for Tobyl, and he has given it straight away towards McMullen. McMullen, what will he do this time? He takes on the shot and he's driven it straight at Konovalov.
Wow,
well, what a couple of moments.
Chances. Yeah, McMullen. But before that, Patrick McElhinney's done unbelievably. It's just bounced. He's got in front of Rodgers, took it down his chest, and he's put a perfect pass in behind for McMullen. But there's still loads to do. McMullen takes a great touch with his left foot, sets himself up, and then tries to pass it through. And to be honest with you, the
ball towards the back post. It's headed downwards by Vukadinovic into Maher's arms.
And in fairness to the Tobyl goalkeeper, you can say it was a great save. He knew nothing about it. It's just hit his foot. We'll see it here now in front of us again. Great touch by Patrick McElhinney. And to be honest with you, McMullen's done everything right. He's got a small touch and then he's got it on target. But it's just exactly where the Tobyl goalkeeper's foot is.
He's 12 yards from goal, Gareth.
Yeah, no, I would have to say, if he had the chance, obviously he would go a little bit wider. But it's just unfortunate he had his foot.
Tobyl coming forward now with Vukadinovic. It sort of feels as if we're entering a critical phase in this tie. Ball swung in from Azranka, comes out towards DeBlay. DeBlay with a shot, headed by McJanet at the edge of the 6-yard area. It wasn't really an effort that was going to trouble Derry in the end up from DeBlay, who had a bit of time on his hands there.
Somebody just had a switch here. This match is just livened up.
Here's Boyce, certainly found a pulse in this second half. Doherty, sweeping ball has gone through McMullen, and the Milanovic just lets it run through as well. More changes on the way here. We're seeing a Derry change, and coming on is Cameron Dummigan. So Dummigan, who's been out for the last couple of games, having picked up a knock, he will replace Adam O'Reilly, who's on a yellow card. So perhaps Rory Higgins, feeling that he's just too much on the edge, can't afford to go down to 10 men.
Eric, there was 2 incidents in the last 5 minutes where you saw Adam O'Reilly pulled out of tackles. You can't have that when Tobyl are breaking, and especially in the position that he plays. So it was a good decision by Rory. Adam was just teetering on the line of another yellow card, and it's just a chance that they couldn't have taken.
So we're going to see 2 changes as well for Tobyl. Their number 90, Shakov, is coming on to replace Sharon Bietov, and then their other change is their number 20, who is Orazov, and he played in the first leg. Just trying to catch who he's... Ivanovic, the number 70, makes way. So a double substitution from Tobyl with 15 minutes left to go. There's a throw in down close towards the corner flag in the Tobyl half, flicked on by Vukadinovic. Derry have it though with Ben Doherty. He's got a bit of space to run into. Driving run here from Ben Doherty. Just has to then check his run. And Diallo is there. Diallo trying a few kicky ups, and he's got a throw in out of it. the Derry fans watch on anxiously, in hope, dreaming. How far can Derry go on this European run that they're enjoying right now, that started back on July the 13th with a 0-0 draw in the Faroe Islands against HB Tórshavn. Got another stoppage in play. Tobyl wait to take this throw in very near the Derry technical area. Rory Higgins, the City manager, watching on, knows what it's all about in Europe for Derry. Of course, part of the 2006 team that got past Gothenburg and Gretna and then played PSG in the third round, or I think it was the first round of the UEFA Cup competition, having come through the qualifying rounds. Gareth, of course, part of that team as well, that came so close to a treble domestically. Derry fighting on all fronts this season as well. Connolly hoists that one forward. Header won by Milatovic, picked up now by Duffy, looking to go on another darting run here, but this time stopped by the substitute Shakov, the number 90, who's from Ukraine. As Rankalov, we have just 12 minutes left to go now. Any slip, any moment of brilliance will surely settle the tie. If not, we will go to extra time. And that is looming large now, you would have to feel, as Tobyl knocked the ball around inside their own half here. McMullen with those two huge chances not that long ago, the closest Derry have come to finding themselves in front in this tie overall. Ball is with Milatovic. Derry have it back again. McMullen, McElhinney, and Connolly goes back to Maher, who's not all that happy with that clearance, and it's gone straight to a toe ball player trying to play the ball through the middle here. This is one of their substitutions, Orazov, but move breaks down for him at the edge of the penalty area. McMullen gets the ball out from underneath his feet, and now it's with Cameron Dummigan. Dummigan doesn't find a red shirt. DeBlay picks it up over on the far right hand side, looks to come inside his man. It's gone back towards Brian Maher. Maher has to sort of shovel that ball away. Orazov gets a head on it. DeBlay will pick it up over on the right hand side. Conley appealing that he's come back from an off-pipe, so he's wheeled away from his man here, and DeBlay looking to put it right into the goal mouth area where Maher has cut it out.
Yeah, brilliant by DeBlay. We talked about him when he gets in the box. He is so tricky. He's got a low sense of gravity. Once he got on there, he got McJanet turned, and he was in one-on-one. But he's done very well, because the tight angle, instead of shooting, he's tried to pull it back to the other player. But in fairness to Maher again, how many times have we seen it? We saw it in the first leg. He comes out with the feet and he clears it. Brilliant save.
Well, this game looks so difficult to call right now. We're into the last 10 minutes here on BBC Radio Foyle and BBC Sounds, following Derry City in Europe playing the home leg here of this third qualifying round tie at the home of their rivals, Shamrock Rovers, the club that they desperately want to overtake in the pecking order for league honours. Shamrock Rovers themselves, who came through all the way to the group stages in Europe last season. Ball forward to Cian Kavanagh. Here is McElhinney now on this his 50th European appearance. Has he still to have a big say in what happens here tonight? Derry just forced back somewhat with Diallo, but shrugging off the presence of Muchakov. Now they go down the line with it. Duffy will pick it up. Here's Michael Duffy. Kavanagh's in the box. Kavanagh forced slightly wide, and it's tidied up. It's tidied up well there by Milatovic, and Orazov now has given it straight back to Derry's Cameron Dummigan, and Dummigan has given it away to Azrankalov.
Yeah, it's just getting a bit scrappy, Eric. I think the substitutes has kind of disrupted the game a little bit, and there's no doubt about it. Tobyl haven't been in the same fluidity since they made the substitutes. Derry, on the other hand, once Patrick gets on the ball, they're building it up to the edge of the box, but we still need to get it wide. Now that Cian Kavanagh's on the pitch, it's a different dynamic, so they've got to get it wide and get balls into the box for him to attack.
Well, we have seen over the last half a dozen games or so how strongly Derry have finished matches. Here's Orazov. They've got a piece of defending to do right now. It's scrolled across towards Buchakov, and well, Derry throwing bodies on the line. Ronan Boyce making that latest block to thwart Vukadinovic. Now it's with Shakov here. Toe ball inside the Derry half, down the left hand side. Derry scored a couple of late goals against Drogheda on Sunday. They finished strongly out in Kazakhstan last Thursday night, nearly getting that equaliser. Strong finish in both legs against Coops, where they came from behind in each game. They have 7 minutes of normal time to try and find a winner and avoid this tie going to extra time, but they have to keep guard as well at the other end. This match so much in the balance, and McMullen is fouled and he wins a free kick off Azrankalov.
Yeah, that was the left back was very lucky not to get yellow carded there. There's no doubt about it. McMullen, brilliant. He just drops the shoulder, skips round the outside of him. Now, granted, he's a long way from goal, but it's still a deliberate free. Well, it's a deliberate foul from Derry attacking. Another substitute here from Tobyl.
There is indeed. Kirienko is the player who's going to come on, and it's their captain Mushakov who makes way. So the Kazakhstanis making a further substitution with around 6 minutes left to go on the clock. That's their third change in this game, levelling up with Derry. Fresh legs, and of course the substitutions so important. Here's Patrick McElhinney, keeps the ball in play, prevents it from going out for a goal kick. Duffy infield, Doherty sends it in towards the 6-yard box. No Derry City player in there. Goal kick for Tobyl.
4 minutes ago I asked them to get balls into the box. It's an incredible ball by Ben Doherty, but Cian Kavanagh, when he's on the left hand side, Cian Kavanagh has got to get behind the left centre half of Tobyl, so that if anything's in front of him, he can run in front of him. Liam will be able to talk about this a little bit more than me. He's in front of the right hand side of centre half. He's never going to score from there if the ball even gets to him. He's got to see the ball and come from behind so he can see the whole goal. Terrible positioning when he knows Ben Doherty's one of the best deliverers in the Derry team. Him and McMullen and Duffy are probably the best. That's where they've got to. He's got to be cute with his positioning.
Yeah, that's a yellow card all day long for Azrankalov. Very deliberate block from the left back for Tobyl on Paul McMullen. I think it's one that the Tobyl fullback felt that he had no choice but to make. We're inside the last 5 minutes here of this second leg tie. Derry leading 1-0 on the night. Will Patching's penalty, and that's 1-1 on aggregate. Derry making another change. Duffy takes on a strike from a long way out, blocked by Tobyl. Deblay now, and they can bring it away. They're looking to get down this left hand side. Dummigan, last man standing at the back for Derry, gets to the ball first ahead of Orazov. It was absolutely crucial that he done just that. I think we're going to see Jordan McAneff come on next for the Candy Stripes, as Tobyl have it with Shakov here. 4 minutes remaining off the 90.
Looks like it's going to be a double substitution from Derry. Young Brandon Kavanagh has warmed up and ready to go as well.
Well, something has to happen over the next couple of minutes, or we will have extra time I think only once before in Derry's history has a tie gone to extra time, and that was during the COVID season, when it was a one-legged tie out in Lithuania against Riiteri. Derry went out 3-2 on that night, playing away from home. Throw in, chance for Derry to make this double change now. Their final two changes, and it is Diallo who is coming off to be replaced by McAneff, and then Paul McMullen is coming off for Brandon Kavanagh. Well, he'll be disappointed with the two chances that fell his way, Gareth, that he didn't take at least one of them.
Yeah,
Paul McMullen.
Particularly the second one, Eric, as you said, it was a great chance. He was free from the Tobyl defence, and all he had to do was get it into either corner. He has got it away from the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper's quite big. He spread his legs and he's just hit his legs. He'd be disappointed, but overall on the night, he's been one of Derry's best players, picking that ball up on an inside right, driving at the Tobyl defenders, and they've been going back. So he's been very good. He can consider himself a good night's work.
Tonight was his ninth Derry City appearance, and he's certainly found his stride pretty quickly as a City player. Here's Orazov now, just over 2 minutes left to play. DeBlay looking to get away down the right hand side, hammers in across. Connolly with the outstretched leg gets the block in, and Doherty picks it up outside the penalty area now, but he's been hassled by Kirenko, and DeBlay goes and charges that ball down on Cameron McJanet as another skifferean just blows in here, and it's a goal kick for Derry. Looks as if that game in Tynecastle as well between Hearts and Rosenborg could be going to extra time. Hibs drawing 2-2. They'll be in the playoff round. Ball, header one. Illich chasing after it. Domigan is there with a cushioned header. The 27-year-old picked up a knockout in Finland, I think it was, in the second leg, when him and Patrick McElhinney had to come off. His layoff slightly lengthier than Patrick McElhinney. Now it's with Boyce down this right hand side. First touch for the Dubliner, Brandon Kavanagh. Played, of course, for was a Shamrock Rovers player, went out on loan with Bray Wanderers. Dummigan short pass to Patrick McElhinney. McElhinney has found Duffy with a brilliant ball. Duffy's first touch has just taken him away too much as Rogic came across there. Tried to beat the player with that chested control, but it just ran a yard away from him. He couldn't make up the ground, but he's got the ball at his feet here again. Michael Duffy, edge of the box. We're in the 90th minute of the contest. What a time this would be to score. In goes the cross, headed away by the central defender. Comes out towards Boyce, heads it back in again. Brandon Kavanagh looking to lay it off for Patrick McElhinney. 30 yards from the Tobyl goal. Derry finishing strongly. Ball in towards the box. Rogic with the clearance, but Derry will come again. This time it's with Dummigan, and what is Cameron Dummigan trying to do there? He's hitting one from about 35 yards out, and that one's heading for orbit.
Yeah, absolutely. Bad decision by Cameron Dummigan. Not like him, 6 minutes out of time here as well. So we've got loads of time to play here, and for Derry City to get a winner.
And the crowd respond, sensing that their team can still win this without the need for extra time. They'll be wanting to get home, but they'll be wanting to win the match. 6 additional minutes to find a goal, or else it's extra time. Tobyl are making a change here, but not yet. I think I might have caught the attendance there at 3,100. Here comes the change. So it's their number 15, Gabarayev, who is coming on, and was it Kirillov, the 24, perhaps, that went off there?
The right back,
yeah, who was on a yellow card. The ball's back with Brian Maher. We've played 1 minute off the 6 additional minutes. I won't ask Gareth McGlynn for a man of the match yet, because this tie could still have some distance to go. Here is Ronan Boyce now. He's got Jordan McAniff up ahead of him. McAniff among the goals for Derry in their league win against Drogheda, and Ronan Boyce has been fouled down this right hand touchline, right under the nose of the assistant referee, and that has given Derry a free kick.
Yeah, he's done really well, Ronan Boyce there. He gave it to McAnuff and then he went for the return, and it just shows you Derry's appetite to go and get a winner. You've got the right back. He's probably the most further forward player on the pitch, but he's been very, very good in last in the away leg and tonight.
Free kick for Derry. 3rd minute of stoppage time. It's Duffy to whip it in. Doesn't beat the first man. He heads it away. Doherty keeps it in play. Dummigan goes back to his goalkeeper Maher, who's outside the penalty area. That was a poor delivery for that free kick. Maher goes long with it, and the Tobyl defender just ducks out of the way and lets that ball run through.
What a terrible decision that is by the Tobyl defender. All he's got to do is head the ball. Instead he's got to go 35 yards back. And
now he's allowed Derry to press forward. Yeah. And he's got the noisy Derry fans ringing in his ears. Ball just dropped a little awkwardly there for the centre back Milanovic, who had to sort of stab at it. He plays it up towards Deblay. The Derry bench feel that was a foul. Ball squirts up into the air. White shirt picks it up. Hearts have got a stoppage time goal at Tynecastle. That's going to put them through against Rosenborg as Boyce heads it out for a throw in. We're into the 4th minute of stoppage time, of which there is going to be 6. Derry have it back again. You just wonder how much fuel is left in the legs of the Kazakhstanis as well, who we understand just arrived here yesterday. Derry, of course, give themselves an extra day in Kostanay in North Kazakhstan. They got themselves out there on the Tuesday before the match. As Brian Maher now clears it up close towards the halfway line. Duffy's been fouled. Referee thinks going to play an advantage. He might have a look at that again. Here is Patrick McAleny now, looking to pick a pass. Dwelled on it a little bit too long, and as Rankeloff brings it under control towards Deblay. And Duffy
never foul.
Has gone in on Deblay. Free kick and a yellow card for Duffy.
We'll see that again now on the screens in front of us, but it did not look like a foul. It looked like Duffy got the ball, and Derry City are going over to Deblay and saying, you played for that and you've made a meal of it, and he's still on the ground. I didn't think that was a free kick. We'll see it here in front of us now. Yeah, he's got the ball. He's clearly got the ball. Yes, he has fallen through, but he got the ball. The referee's got a look at the tackle. Yes, it was a wee bit forceful, but he's clearly got the ball. Granted, if he wants to give a free kick, but it's never a yellow card.
Well, the play is still down. We're into the 95th minute of the game, so we're heading for extra time unless something really dramatic happens now in the final minute. Deblay is hobbling. The Derry fans think he's making too much of it. Tobyl take the free kick. Ball hangs in the air, right in on top of Brian Maher. That's an easy catch for the Dubliners to make, and relief around the ground here at Tala, or at least on that one side where the majority of the Derry fans are housed over on the main stand. Is there time for one last attack here as Derry give the ball away, then Tobyl give it away to Patrick McAleny. Here's Brendan Kavanagh. Kavanagh! Cian Kavanagh! He's put it wide.
What
Cian Kavanagh, set up by his namesake, in on goal, seemed to panic, and he's poked it wide of the target and there was the tie in that 1 second for Cian Kavanagh to win it.
I'm just after seeing the replay. He's tried to blast the ball from 12 yards out. All he's got to do is open up his foot and put it in the corner.
He's completely miscued it.
But I have to say, he's done really well at the beginning.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
That is the chance. That Derry will be very, very fortunate to get a chance to get an extra time.
Well, will you get a better chance than that coming in what was the last kick of normal time? But we are going to extra time. This tie has still not been decided, and the Derry players, with their manager Rory Higgins, an old trick here, taking them right down to the most boisterous section of where the Derry fans are located, in the stand, in the main stand there at Tala, where he'll deliver the team talk, and the game finishes 1-0, cancelling out the goal from Tobyl in the first leg. So Derry leading 1-0 in the night, but 1-1 across the two legs. We'll pause here for a few minutes and go back to the studio and hear from Desi and Liam.
Liam, what a chance to win it.
It's right in front of him, wasn't it? All he had to do was just keep a cool head. As Scott said, just open himself up. The ball just came to him and he's just tried to blast it, you know what I mean? And he lose control then, and that's what happens then. Got to keep a cool head. You got to get the heart rate down and just look at what's in front of you. He's just panicked. Panic's the right word. Unfortunately, because Derry totally deserved it. Totally deserved to go through. Better side. The two best chances in the second half for McMullen and Kavanagh at the end. Tobyl created absolutely nothing.
There's been we mentioned about the physicality of Tobyl, that they're not that physical, but there's a lot of niggly fouls. There's 2 or 3 Tobyl players that quite comfortably could have seen a second yellow card.
The fullback, the left back, has made 2 or 3 challenges, and that's, even the one that Mickey Duffy, the right back, he's made one in the first half. Sumner never got a card for it. Then they take him off, and they bring the other fullback on. He does the same thing. So it's just been niggly, and then Mickey makes a challenge. Mickey Duffy makes a challenge. Probably, as we're watching it here, we see the follow through. That's what the referees probably thought it's over physical, and Mickey gets a yellow card for it, and that's European referees fee.
It's extra time now. There's fatigue. There's definite fatigue. You can see in the last 10-15 minutes on both sides. Who's going to be the stronger? Because
Derry have finished the match stronger.
Derry have finished the match stronger. Is the journey from Kazakhstan going to take its toll on Tobyl?
I think they've been really poor. They're really poor. How many times they give the ball away in the second half, and giving it just straight back to Derry, and they look really, really leggy. They look heavy. There's no real movement in front of them. The only player with a bright spark is Dembele up front. He's the only one that looks as if he's going to do anything. The rest are just strolling about, giving the ball away. It's just unfortunate. Derry, it's got a bit ragged in the last 20 minutes. The subs probably didn't help. The 2 benches have been emptied, and it's just maybe disrupted the pattern of play. But you can just see players are just. They're out on their feet here from both sides.
So what way do you approach extra time now?
Well, Derry have finished the match stronger now. They know there's chances there. They've got Brandon Kavanagh's got to get himself into them positions just in front of Patrick, just in between the midfielders, because that's where the joy is. Because there's playing, we know, sitting holding midfielders, so they've got to get them ball. And the one time that Brandon Kavanagh gets in, plays a great ball through. And as I say, Cian Kavanagh, but Derry have just got to keep going forward now and try and win the match.
Well, we're about to kick off in extra time, so we'll return now to the Tala Stadium to Gareth McGlynn and Derek White.
Thank you, Desi. Right, here we go. Another 30 minutes of this gripping contest is ahead of us, and it is Tobyl who will get the extra time underway here. The teams playing in the same direction as they did at for the second half. So Tobyl clearly winning the toss there. You would think, because Derry, I'm sure, would probably want to attack the goal to our right hand side in the second half. Oh, they almost give the ball away there inside their own half, where the most noisiest supporters are situated. Here comes Ronan Boyce, plays it down the line towards Jordan McAniff. I mean, Gareth, first of all, how does Cian Kavanagh put that chance out of his head now, because he might get another one? And secondly, I mean, just what is going to happen over the next half an hour, do you think? Who do you favour at this point?
Well, listen, the fact that Cian Kavanagh's such a young man, he's got to put it out of his head, and we'll see what he's made of. But you can see him now. I've been watching him now since this started. That's a minute in, and he's asked for the ball 2 or 3 times. That's a good start. He's not afraid to get back on the ball. He needs to forget about it now, and he needs to make sure that if he gets another chance, he doesn't become erratic and panic. Listen, we don't know what's going to happen here, but I agree with Liam. I think Tobyl are completely disjointed. The substitutes definitely haven't helped them. They haven't strengthened them, they've weakened them. Whereas on the other hand, you've got Donegan and Patrick McElhinney and Brandon Kavanagh came on for Derry. To me, Derry have strengthened, especially with Patrick and Donegan. And not strengthened, but strengthened going forward. So I would expect Derry to have most of the possession here and hopefully create most of the chances. But again, you can't be expecting to get 3 or 4 chances. There might be 1 or maybe 2 chances, and you've got to take them.
Well, they've certainly squandered a few good chances in that second half, but they're here at the edge of the penalty area. Duffy's shot has taken a deflection, and that will be a corner kick for Derry. 2nd minute of extra time here. Derry playing towards the Tallaght Square end in the first period of this extra time, towards that north stand under construction. The UEFA flags flapping over on the corner on the far side, but it's here on this near end that Ben Doherty sets the ball in the quadrant. The referee's not going to allow him to take it just yet. He wants to have a word with a player from each team, Cian Kavanagh being the player spoken to for the Candy Stripes. So corner kick to be swung in here towards the back post. Connolly's up, referee's whistle sounded. He's not happy with the manner in which Connolly won that ball.
Yeah, Big Mark just saw the ball coming in. It was a great delivery by Ben Doherty. His eyes lit up, but in fairness to the Tobyl defender, he's just got under him, he's made it difficult, he's took a step back, and then he's thrown himself to the ground. So Mark's had to come over the top of him, and obviously the Tobyl defender got his free kick.
Well, the 2 Scottish teams have made it through. Hearts in quite dramatic fashion there against Rosenborg. Hibs also getting the job done out in Switzerland. And here at the Tallaght Stadium, well, it is up for grabs, isn't it? Derry will not get a better chance to go through to a 4th round, a playoff round, 1 away from the group stage. And let's hope that by the end of tonight they're not ruining those missed chances, talking about those opportunities that they didn't take. Victoria Pilsen, as we know, await the winners in the in that playoff round. And there's another foul committed by a toe ball player on Ben Doherty. Referee lets play continue because City have the ball at their feet. He may think about showing a yellow card when play stops. Derry trying to find a gap through towards Brandon Kavanagh, but toe ball hammer it away, and Deblay is going to give up the chase on that one. Do you think the Kazakhstanis are now maybe, Gareth, is it a case of hanging on for penalties for them, do you think? Is that what they're looking towards?
Eric, I don't want to eat my words, but bar Debele, they don't look as if they've got anything else. Like Ivanovic, when he was on the pitch, the captain Musevic, he was very, very good. They were dangerous. I just don't see them. They haven't got enough up the pitch enough. The back 4 haven't moved since about 15 minutes to go. So I think they've accepted that they're not going to create the kind of chances they were creating in the first half. And I think it looks as if they're playing for penalties and maybe making half a chance from a set piece.
Cian Kavanagh has conceded a free kick just down in front of us on the halfway line. Newspaper deadlines may not now be met with this additional 30 minutes of extra time, and of course the potential of a dreaded penalty shootout. Here is Milatovic for Tobyl and Rogic. They go long down this right channel. Header and clearance from Ben Doherty up towards the halfway line. Kavanagh makes some sort of an attempt at jumping towards it, but it's sent forward again, and it's with Brian Maher, who we're glad to report it looks as if he has recovered from what was a pretty heavy shoulder injury that he suffered at one stage during that second half. He was down for a reasonable amount of time, but he's okay to continue. Here is Brandon Kavanagh now, one of the Derry substitutes. Can't pick out Duffy, and Tobyl will bring it away in the midfield area to Orazov. Dummigan gets a boot in. Shakov picks it up here, the number 90 for Tobyl. Finds a white shirt hugging the right touchline over on the far side. Well, Derry won't be thinking about this now, but I'm sure St Patrick's Athletic will be pretty happy that this game has got into extra time. They have to make the journey to the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium on Sunday for the second round of the FAI Cup. Live coverage of that here in Radio Foyle as the cross goes in towards the box, towards DeBlay, and then just controlled, chested into the path of Vukadinovic, who got his strike away from inside the area. Probably not a clean connection on it, sort of scuffed it a bit, and a chance nonetheless for Tobyl as Maher makes a save.
Ronan Boyce did really well there. He just did enough to put him off, but that's half a chance. That's probably Tobyl's best chance since half time. They really did get the belly free there, and he's chested it down beautifully, and it's a half volley, probably about 13 yards out. It's at the angle, but it's at the angle for the right footer coming in from the left, so he should have been doing better there.
Ball high up in the air. Just to finish off what I was saying there, 5 o'clock will be on the air on Sunday. Owen Crumley and Liam Coyle will bring you commentary of that cup tie, undoubtedly the tie of the round, that's for sure. 6 ties taking place tomorrow night. Finn Harps, they're taking on non-league Skerries at Finn Park. 8 o'clock kick-off for that one. Great chance for Dave Rogers' men to make it through to the quarter-finals. Bohemians, Declan Devine's Bohemians at home to Rockmount. Cork and Waterford, bit of a derby down there in Munster. Galway go to UCD. Some of the ties. Drogheda away to Kerry. We've 8 minutes gone in extra time. The tie over the 2 legs, level at 1 apiece. That's not the ball that DeBlay wants. It's gone beyond him, and Cameron McJanet tidies up for City. Cross now to Mark Connolly, the 31-year-old central defender for Derry. Passes just getting a wee bit more careless. Here's DeBlay, closed down by Dummigan. Long range attempt from Tobyl's substitute, Kirenko, the Russian.
Yeah, they seem to be running out of ideas, Eric. I mean, every time Tobyl get the ball, they are trying to get the belly, but he's having to drop a lot deeper now to get the ball. And Mark Conley and McJanet are very happy for him to be 10, 15 yards in front of them. But what that allows, as long as he's not going on behind, he seems to, we mentioned the long journey they've had, he seems to be running out of gas a little bit.
Goalkeeper's clearance goes into the Tobyl half, but it's going to run through to their own goalkeeper, Konovalov. Konovalov, all in yellow, strokes it to his defender outside the penalty area. 9.5 minutes gone, ball thumped forward, and that will run all the way through to Brian Maher. I mentioned that game that went to extra time back in 2020 it was, against Reatery, but no Derry City players from that game on the pitch right now. I think Kieran Cole, one of the few survivors still in the Derry City squad. Maher, ball sliding challenge won by Duffy. The Tobyl bench not happy about it, but they're just going to appeal for everything that they feel that they can get at this stage. 100 minutes of game time we've had. That's not including the 6 minutes of additional time at the end of the match here. Connolly in with the challenge there. It's going to be a throw in for Tobyl. just in front of their technical area, and their Serbian manager Deblay hooks it on. He's done well there, but have they got enough bodies as they move inside the box here, twisting and turning, going towards the byline? And it was Cameron McJanet matching him stride for stride. Ball loops up in the air, corner for Tobyl.
Yeah, Tobyl seemed to be committing a lot of players. In fairness, I'm looking down there, at one stage Tobyl had committed a lot of players forward and Derry had committed a lot of players forward, so it's looking like maybe a mistake could kind of win or lose this game.
Orazov will take the corner kick. Tobyl attacking the goal at the south stand end here at Tala. In comes the corner kick. Rogic is in there. The ball's bouncing around inside the box. The Derry players are appealing for a handball. The referee has seen it as well, and that's going to be a free kick for the Candy Stripes. And we have 3.5 minutes of the first period of extra time to go, as it came off Rogic there. Picked up now in the midfield area from Patrick McElhinney. Spoke about the tie against Batty Borisov when he was with Dundalk. After losing the first leg, they turned it around to win it here at Tala to go through, and ultimately took them to the group stages in 2016. Boyce is in a lot of space over here on the right hand side. Dummigan's pass will just about reach him. Kavanagh, Brandon Kavanagh, that is. 2 Kavanaghs now on the pitch. Loses out to Orazov, who scored in the away leg against Basel as well. It's going to be a free kick for Derry. Patrick McElhinney just getting himself back up. Brandon Kavanagh standing over the ball, and McElhinney caught quite heavily there in that challenge. Play is restarted. Derry move it across over to the left hand side for Doherty. Dummigan tries to go forward with the first time pass, but he's given it straight away to Tobyl, who are looking to get Deblay in behind here. Deblay trying to get through. Maher comes out, and then it's tidied up by Cameron McJanet, who sweeps in behind his goalkeeper as the ball just ran away from Deblay, but just for a second there, the Ivory Coast frontman caused panic in the Derry defence. Cian Kavanagh has been fouled. That'll be a free kick. It'll be a yellow card as well, and it's Rogic that has shown the yellow.
Yeah, I questioned the quality of the substitute that came on for Tobyl, but I have to say Orazov has played a beautiful pass in between the two centre halves there to get the belly off. But I said his fitness, he looked a little bit sluggish. Had that been in the first half when he was at himself, he gets on the end of that, he gets clear of McJanet, he gets clear of Conley, and he slides it past Maher. So brilliant pass, and again it's just a warning for Derry City. Looks like Tobyl aren't finished just yet.
Tie on a knife edge. Free kick for Derry, and they've sent quite a few forward. Doherty with that left foot of his, and unfortunately it's a bit on the wasteful side because the target was Cian Kavanagh. It's just gone over his head and out behind for a goal kick for Tobyl, and we are in the last minute of the first period of extra time as we approach 10 o'clock here on this Thursday evening. Europa Conference League action on BBC Radio Foyle and BBC Sounds. Nothing beats European football. Here comes Tobyl. They're inside the box. They've still trying to work the ball through here down the right hand side. Derry with plenty of players back, whipped in towards the danger area. Deblay was the target, and it was Mark Connolly, the centre back, who won the header decisively, and Deblay has stayed down inside the 6-yard area, and a couple of Derry players have dropped to the ground as well. Connolly and I think is it Ronan Boyce also?
Ronan Boyce has just saved this tie for Derry City. What's this? A 1-2. DeBelly's just going to put it in the box, and Ronan Boyce comes out of nowhere to make a header. He just gets in front of him and he heads it away. It's an unbelievable clearance, because that's as good as a goal. DeBlay's probably 6 yards out. All he's going to do is head that down, and it's going to be a goal. Ronan Boyce comes from right back. He gets round in front of him and he heads it away. It's a great clearance.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As both him and Conley went towards the ball, it was the head of Boyce that got to the ball first, and Deblay looks a little worse for the wear as well after that challenge, as he has to recompose himself and get himself back on his feet again, having suffered a blow to his head. This is we're now moved into stoppage time here at the end of the first period of extra time, so I'm not sure if the referee's really going to play much longer before he asks the two teams to turn around. We'll bring in Liam very shortly as well at the break for a further comment. Liam Coyle, who's back watching in the studio in Radio Foyle, and that is the half-time whistle. So no further goals means it's still one each across the two legs. We're 15 minutes away from penalties. Back to Desi and Liam.
Well, Liam, still on a knife edge, but Derry started the second period of extra time. They looked the fresher of the two sides, but as the first period of extra time went on, Tobyl came more into it.
Tobyl have come more into it the last 10 minutes or so, Desi, and you know, you think Derry, we making all the subs, that they would be fresher and looking a lot more likely to create, but they have created absolutely nothing, and they're starting to look a bit leggy there at the minute. And Tobyl have just started to sense that they're starting to fade a bit, so I think half time's just come at the right time for them. In
terms of performances, young Boyce has been exceptionally good for Derry. He's been there, and he's been solid throughout, but he's been there when they've needed him and the closing stages of the game.
We mentioned this on Sunday about Ronan Boyce. He's got better as the season. He had a rocky start this season. He was out of the team, found it difficult to get in. There was even Kieran Qual was playing right back, but recently he's been absolutely outstanding, and defensively tonight again. But Derry defensively, their back four have been very good, like, you know what I mean, because Brian Maher, you know, apart from the odd one getting on behind, you know, trying to get through, he's had nothing to do. So defensively they've been good, but what you don't want now is Tobyl now just snuffing and sensing that there might be a chance there.
Well, we're about to get underway in the second period of extra time. We'll return to Tallaght, to Gareth McGlynn and Eric White.
Yep, off we go again. Second period of extra time, so 15 minutes to try and find a winner for either team in this tie and avoid the prospect of a penalty shootout. And Derry are working the ball in towards the Tobyl penalty area, and Ben Doherty's ball on this occasion doesn't find anybody, and there's Azralankov to make the clearance. Such a closely contested game here, as Tobyl just making a hard work of clearance outside of their own penalty area. But I suppose, you know, some credit has to go to the Kazakhstanis. They have had all the travelling to do this week, and now got into an extra 15 minutes, an extra half an hour of play here, and both teams, I'm sure, will be feeling the effects of fatigue, because it's been a hectic last couple of weeks as they make their way around Europe and through the rounds in Europe. Cian Kavanagh brings it under control on the halfway line. Down he goes. Referee says that's a free kick. Derry want to get on with it. Shakov just standing in front of the ball. The Derry fans crank up the noise again over in that main stand as we look out across this Tallaght scene here from the east stand, where there's absolutely no fans on this side of the ground. Here is Brian Maher now, launches it just beyond Duffy, but off the Tobyl head last, so throw in just down below us, a few metres below us, taken by Ben Doherty. Steps inside. Shakov. Here is Patrick McElhinney. McGonigal up ahead of him in acres of space over on that right hand side. There is Ronan Boyce. Boyce whips in across, might drop for Jordan McAniff. He's still got the ball at his feet, has Jordan McAniff. He's trying to find a way around the Tobyl defender, and then he drags him to the ground, and it's a free kick for the Kazakhstanis.
Yeah, credit to the Tobyl defender there. I thought McAniff was going to get there first, but he just got there ahead of him, and he took it away. And again, again, that's what Jordan McAniff is excellent at. He arrives into the box at the right time. We saw against Drogheda, Michael Duffy doing all the work down the left hand side, but Jordan McAniff, his timing getting into the box is brilliant.
Tobyl looked to try and find Deblay, the diminutive danger man up front for them, the number 8, who has 5 goals in their domestic league, makes him the leading goal scorer. But Derry have a throw in. We've played 3 minutes in this second period of extra time. Derry have never been involved in a penalty shootout in Europe. And as Rankeloff is looking to take the throw in over there. And it's across to Rogic to Shakov, the Ukrainian, with the number 90 on the back of his shirt. They stride forward into the opposition half, clipped in towards the edge of the D. That'll go over Doherty's head. Duffy sort of swiped clearance from him, and then Brandon Kavanagh has gone down looking for a free kick in the eyes of the referee. Play continues. Here's as Rankeloff now, and he just loses his balance as the ball runs out of play for a throw in.
Yeah, there's a few tired legs out there now, Eric. You can see the left back is tired for Tobyl. I saw Mark Conley stretching his calf there now. It's all about concentration now when you get to this stage of the game. It's been a long night, and even the build-up, the energy, you would have zapped the energy out of you, the excitement of playing in this pitch, the excitement of the occasion. You've just got to be very assured now in everything that you do.
Derry want to be back here next Thursday night to play Victoria Pilsen, as Jordan McAniff chases after this ball inside the penalty area, and then he barges into the Tobyl goalkeeper as he manages to claim that ball. I think we're going to see Danny Mullen come on. Derry, of course, can make an extra change here in extra time. I mean, how as a manager does Rory Higgins keep his composure over there? Surely there's so much going through in his head, so much to take in, you know, tactically what way the game is going, what changes he has to make, and at what time he makes them. I suppose that's what management's all about. Maybe that's why you haven't got into management, Gareth.
I don't need that grey hair, Eric. But I tell you what, that's what makes him so good, Eric. He is so composed. There's not much that ruffles his feathers. No. He's really good at kind of keeping himself in a bubble, being methodical, being practical, and his attention to detail is excellent. I was talking to him before the game. He's just sitting there. He was relaxed, sitting in the dugout saying, the work's done. The hard work's done. And I know he doesn't enjoy match day, especially leading up to the match. But when the match starts, as he said, the work is done. He has given his players everything that he can possibly give them. They understand what they're supposed to do, what's going to happen in certain situations. So that's why he's so composed and so relaxed.
And I'm sure he's added a few more grey hairs during the course of the evening as well. Well, Michael Duffy will play no further part in this match.
No doubt about it, Eric. He has been my man of the match. He's been absolutely outstanding. From the very first minute, he's got out at the right back, and you've been seeing it coming, and you saw it against Drogheda. He is getting more confident, he's getting sharper, he's getting fitter. I think people forget the injury that he had. He basically broke his leg, and he came back, he rehabilitated, and he's only now coming back to the kind of form that he's shown throughout his career.
Won the penalty, which was a pivotal moment early in this game here tonight. So Michael Duffy off, and on comes Danny Mullen, the Scottish striker, 28 years of age, just making his 7th Derry City appearance. Referee is happy to let play continue despite the fact that Orazov has gone down injured, and there's another Tobyl player has gone to ground as well, Vukadinovic, and this time the referee does stop the play and says this is a free kick, and they are going to make a change as well. And I think it's the end of the night for Deblay, which is interesting because he scored 2 penalties. He scored 2 penalties for Tobyl in the win against Basel. They got one on each leg. So he's off, and on comes their number 13.
Yeah,
who is Zabelin.
Generally, I would be saying to keep your penalty taker on the pitch at this stage of the game, but he really has ran himself under the ground. I don't think he's got anything else to give.
Well, with 7 minutes left to play, but he's off the pitch anyway. Probably their main penalty. Well, certainly there's their main penalty taker, going by their run through in Europe anyway. And it was his penalty in the home leg that ultimately gave Tobyl the 4-3 aggregate win against Basel. Derry looking to get the ball away from deep inside their own half, and the number 90's just had a kick out there at Danny Mullen. Shack off, so that's going to be a free kick for Derry, and will allow them to push up the park a little bit more. A late night here in Dublin. We are going the distance, it would seem, unless somebody can find a winner in the next 6 minutes. Tobyl have won the ball back cheaply. Here is Karenko. He's looking to have a run at Ben Doherty. Runs it right out of play. Gareth McGlynn shakes his head, and that will be a throw in for Derry. And exhausted legs, exhausted minds out there now, surely, and evident in that clearance as well from Cameron McJanet. And a throw in for Gabarayev.
Yeah, I think Rory Higgins will be thinking now, whatever you do, if you're not going to win it, definitely don't lose it at this stage of the game. If you want to go to penalties now, I think it will be fair enough. There's no doubt about it. In the play throughout the match, I think Derry have been the better team. But at this stage, you definitely do not. 114, 115 minutes, you definitely don't want to lose it now.
Well, they do have a free kick just inside their own half. Patrick McElhinney will take. Of course, we should point out that Derry's penalty taker is off the pitch as well. Their main penalty taker, Will Patching. Well, let's not talk too much yet about penalties. Here is Ben Doherty. Ben Doherty infield for McElhinney. McElhinney to Mullen. Nice little turn from Mullen. Mullen skips past the number 3 as Rankiloff goes down. Oh, he's dived in the eyes of the referee. He's booked him. He's given him a yellow card. It'll be a free kick for Tobyl instead outside the box.
Yeah, from where I was standing, I thought it was a free kick. We're going to get the benefit of the replay here now in front of us. But initially, it was a brilliant turn by Mullen, but it was brilliant by Ben and Patrick as well. A 1-2 to get through the midfield. They're at the defence. Patrick looks as if he's going to play a 1-2 with Danny Mullen. Danny Mullen just cripes it and takes it away from the defender. Then he goes straight at the other centre half in defenders. Yeah, he's made contact. I mean, it's a free kick. I don't know what the referee has seen. And you know what as well? It's a left back who's already on a yellow card. Now, granted, I saw it. It's a free kick. It's not a yellow card. But the referee's got it wrong.
Well, that's a big call. That's a really big decision there from the referee, because that free kick would have been in a very inviting position had it gone Derry's way. 4 minutes here to go. Ozrakov, Derry have got to be careful here. Tobyl looking to work their way outside the box. Ozrakov charges his way through, and it was Ben Doherty in there who made a pretty sturdy block. Connolly's down hurt. Derry looking to attack. Kavanagh hammered away back up into the Derry half again. It's all just looked a little bit chaotic here in the last couple of minutes. Mullen goes to ground again, looks for the free kick. Referee again not interested, and now it's clipped down this side by Gabarayev. Connolly definitely needs attention. He might not be able to continue. Well, it's cramp that he's got, and he's been assisted by the Tobyl player.
He actually started stretching his right calf before extra time. He's obviously feeling. You got to remember, Mark Connolly, like Domigan, like Patrick, like Duffy, they've had long-term injuries throughout the season. Remember, he did his hamstring down at the Brandywell. I mean, he's only coming back to fitness. I just don't know what happens now, because they've made their substitute.
That's right.
So they've got to either move him out of centre half and maybe play him in around the middle of the park, and move Domigan back, who of course has played in a back three already this season. But he definitely looks as if it's not a case of if he's going to be able to run this off. This looks worrying.
Well, if he does have to go off, if he does have to leave the play, Gareth's right. Derry would go down to 10 men. We've 2.5 minutes to go. Do you think? I mean, has Rory Higgins, will he just leave it up to the 5 players to volunteer as to who wants to hit the penalties? Will he have an idea who he'll want to hit the penalties? Of course, you can prepare for penalties, but you don't really know who's going to be on the pitch after 120 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mark Conley won't be hitting the penalty because he can barely walk the sideline. So Rory Higgins himself will know who the 5 players are going to be, and to be honest with you, the 5 players will know. I mean, if you look down there now and you're asking me to choose, you've got Ben Doherty will definitely hit a penalty, Patrick McElhinney will hit a penalty, you've got Ronan Boyce will hit a penalty, Brandon Kavanagh will hit a penalty, and then you're into maybe McJanet or Cian Kavanagh and Dummigan as well.
No, Jordan McEneff hit the penalty at the Aviva.
Did I say Jordan? No.
Oh, did you? Maybe you did. Sorry.
Well, if I didn't, Jordan will be in the mix as well. I don't think he's going to have. It's not going to be a case he's going to have to pick them. He's going to go and say who wants to hit the penalties. He's going to get about 8 players raise their hands, probably those 8, and he's going to have to pick them himself.
Well, we're a minute and a half away from penalties now, which are looming very large, unless Tobyl can win it here at the end. And Ben Doherty, absolutely superb last-ditch defending from Ben Doherty there, because Karenko was in if he got half a sniff. There's a Derry player's been fouled over the technical area in the Derry bench. It's Mark Connolly himself, who just looks as if he's been through the wars, but composed defending there from Ben Doherty. That could have been the moment that Tobyl could have snatched it right at the death.
Absolutely brilliant covering, and that's twice now that both fullbacks have basically saved the game. But as we thought now, Dummigan's going into right back, Boyce is going to right centre half, you've got McJanet left centre half, and then Ben Doherty on the left hand side, and Mark Conley is he's floating about up around the pitch.
You don't get this noise at Shamrock Rovers games. Here is Ben Doherty, clips it down the left hand side. We're in the last minute of extra time. This tie has almost gone the full distance. It's really now up to the referee how much additional time he will play. Is there another attack in it for Derry? There's a bit of a late challenge left on Ben Doherty, and the Russian substitute Kirienko is just having a word. I think Rory Higgins and his staff down there are noting down the penalty kick takers. We're going to have 2 additional minutes at the end of this game, and if we don't find a goal, we're going to a penalty shootout. The ball's up and towards the edge of the box, drops down inside the Tobyl penalty area, and they do get it away. Mark Connolly's playing up there as the front man, hobbling around in the Tobyl penalty box. That's quite a sight. Throw in for the Kazakhstanis. 10:15 here on this Thursday night, European night, here on Radio Foyle. Penalties not far away. Brandon Kavanagh, rush of blood to the head there with a heavy pass which has gone straight out for a throw in. Tobyl wallop it down the line here on the right hand side. Their number 13 Zabalin looking to bring it under control, fails to do that. We're in the last minute here now. Both teams have given it absolutely everything. Slice clearance goes high up into the air, drops from the sky, it's brought under control on the halfway line. Try to clip it forward towards Orazov. McJanet gets it away with Boyce now in there as his central defensive partnership for the last couple of minutes, last couple of seconds, and Dummigan it right back. Tobyl are coming forward here. It's going to be a punt in towards the penalty area. It's a crossfield ball here to Kirienko. He brings it under control. He's close towards the byline. He clips it in towards the back post. Dummigan gets a crucial header on it, and they're going to have a shot from a long way out, which has hit Jordan McEneff. Brave block there from McEneff. Looks a bit winded, back up at his feet again. One of the Tobyl players is trying to help him. Tobyl are going to have a throw in. It's the last couple of seconds, and Derry have another player down inside the penalty area. Well, the next couple of days it's going to take some recovery work.
It's Cian Kavanagh down the stretch, stretching his hamstring or his calf. I just hope it's not an injury. And I'm watching Mark Conley. He's moved out of defence. We say he couldn't move. He's a centre forward and he's closing down centre halves. Listen, I know this is a big game and he's doing his best, but one thing he shouldn't do is get injured.
Here's a long throw in towards the box, headed away. long range shot. It's Rankalov who scored the goal in the first leg. Another opportunity at a shot, flashes wide, and that is surely it. That is it. It's finished here in Tala. Derry have won 1-0 on the night, but that's one each in extra time. So Gareth McGlynn, we are going to penalty shootout.
Absolutely, and it's nothing but Derry City deserved. They were outstanding for the 120-130 minutes. They were out on their feet at the end. We had Mark Conley playing up front. We had a makeshift defence, but I have to say Tobyl as well. They were completely makeshift. They had centre midfielders playing centre half, centre midfielders playing right back. It was a cracking European qualifying cup tie, and now it comes down to penalties. Listen, nobody likes losing in penalties, and it's a cruel way to lose, but I just think the crowd here tonight can get Derry over the line.
Cramped up bodies all over the pitch. Rejoin us shortly for the drama of the penalty shootout to see if Derry can make it through to the playoff round of the Europa Conference League. But for now, Desi and Liam.
Liam, it's been on a knife edge. Extra time didn't prove anything other than there was two sides that just didn't want to lose at that stage. Two sides that were out on their feet, and when the final whistle went, I think there was 2 or 3 Derry players that just lay down.
They were dropping like flies there, but no, it's not often you make a good point, Desi, but you called it halfway through it. You just said Tobyl have just brought on defensive players now. They've taken off all their quality players and all their inventive players and just brought on 6'4", 6'2" midfielders, made it hard for Derry. Like Derry, as Gareth said, it always becomes disjointed when you make so many subs. But they knew that they were never going to score, so they made sure that Derry weren't going to score either. And Derry just didn't have enough. After that chance from Cian Cavan at the end of normal time, Derry created very little.
Technically, is penalty shootout about technical ability to find the back of the net, or is it about just belief and confidence that he can score?
At this stage here, it's after playing 120 minutes of a tough game. Now this is more about mental strength than anything. You've got to trust your technique now. You got to say to yourself, right, well, this is the way I take him in training. I'm sure Rui's worked in training because he's meticulous and everything he does like that. So whoever's, I'm sure the 5 people that he had picked are not on the pitch. They're not all on there, like Duffy and people like that there, and
Duffy and Patching
McGonigal. They would probably be your normal penalty takers, but you've got to trust your technique. But it's all about the mental side of the game now. Not telling yourself that I'm not tired. It's one kick of the ball now, and I'm sure Tobyl is the same. Like they're going to be under pressure as well too. But they look as if for the last 25 minutes they looked as if they were playing for penalties.
And saying all of that, we're about to go to the penalties now. While Derry have no Duffy, they have no Patching, they have no McGonigal, as you mentioned. Tobyl have taken off a lot of their more technical players as well. So this could come down to Brian Maher and his opposite
this is made now for Brian Maher, isn't it? This is his time, because to be fair, he's had very little to do. Apart from take a couple of crosses and made the odd one with his feet, but he's had very little to do. So this is his time now. And looking at the 2 keepers, I would fancy Maher more than I would fancy their keeper, being quite honest.
So you think Derry will go through?
That's not what I'm saying, but who knows, Desi, now? You know what I mean? This is, as Gareth said, it's an awful way to go out of any competition, but, now you've got to just believe that you can get through in this year.
Well, the final stages of this tie are about to unfold. The Tala Stadium is full of red and white Derry City fans in anticipation. The penalty kicks are about to begin. Derry will take the first one. Patrick McElhinney will take the first one, and with that we'll hand back to Gareth McGlynn and Eric White.
And the first advantage goes to Derry because they have won the toss to take the penalties into the goal to our right hand side at the end of the ground where the noisy Derry fans are located. And here is Patrick McElhinney, little shuffle run up, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. 1-0 Derry City. Patrick McElhinney on his 50th European appearance gives them the advantage in the shootout.
Absolutely. The goalkeeper starting mind games again. He stood left hand side of the goal, so he's saying to Patrick McElhinney, if you want to put it in that corner, I'm going to get over and save it. But Patrick McElhinney, cool as you like, he's put it into the smallest side of the net. He's just side of the foot and he's rolled it into the corner. corner.
Orazov, one of the substitutes as well for Tobyl, coming up to hit their first penalty towards the Tala Square end. Orazov also sends Brian Maher the wrong way. It was almost an identical penalty to that of Patrick McElhaney. 1-1. Brandon Kavanagh up next.
Yeah, I thought he didn't play particularly well when he came on. I thought his confidence would have been down. I thought Brian would have had a chance, but he's coolly put him the wrong way.
So one each after one penalty each, and now it's Brandon Kavanagh, another one of the Derry substitutes. Short angled run up here from Brandon Kavanagh, and he drills it low into the corner of the net. The goalkeeper guessed the right way, but he couldn't keep it out, and Derry lead 2-1 in the shootout.
Yeah, well struck. Listen to that crowd. The reaction every time Derry score a penalty is incredible. I have to say the goalkeeper guessed right, but it was too much in the corner, and it was too powerful. Again, Brandon just going across his body into the right hand side of the net.
Now it's Vukadinovic who comes forward to hit the next penalty for Tobyl. This to draw it level at 2 penalties apiece. Vukadinovic against Brian Maher, who bounces around on the goal line, and he scores to make it 2-2. Good penalty. Goalkeeper dived the right way, but his penalty went above the goalkeeper and close into the top corner. And next up for Derry is Danny Mullen.
Yeah, good penalty. He's lifted it. In fairness to Brian Maher, again he's guessed right, but the Vukadinovic has just lifted the ball too high, and he's lifted it over Brian Maher.
Well, these are nerve churning moments, that's for sure. And it's all square at 2 apiece after 2 penalties each. And up comes Danny Mullen, and he scores.
What
high into the net. 3-2 to Derry.
Incredible. It's as if he's just opened the spot and blasted it. But again, the big keeper has guessed right, and he's got no chance. 3 keepers wouldn't have saved that penalty. It's a great strike across his body, right under the crossbar, and it's almost in the top corner. You're listening to a live penalty shootout here on BBC Radio Foyle in the Europa Conference League. Derry are leading 3-2, but Shakov has a chance now to make it 3-3 again here for the Kazakhstanis. Up he steps, and he scores pretty much down the middle. Brian Maher nowhere near that one, and we're back all level again at 3 each, and we're going to see Jordan McAneff now come up and take the next Derry penalty. Yeah, the big man made that look very easy. He just waited to Brian Maher to go down, guessed the side, and just lifted it high into the middle of the net. Well, the last time Jordan McAneff stepped up to take a penalty for Derry City, he scored it. It was against Shelbourne in the FAI Cup. It was the pressure was off at that stage because they were 3-0 up. High stakes here now, though, with this spot kick for McAneff, and he scores down the middle. Derry 4-3 in front here. Brilliant penalty. Huge pressure on Jordan, but again he's just waited for the keeper to go down. It's not a penalty I like taking, going down the middle, but again under immense pressure he's done really well. But unlike the guy before him, Jordan hasn't lifted it, he's actually put it down the middle with pace. It's a brilliant penalty. Well, here comes Azrankalov now for Tobyl, the scorer of their goal in the first leg in Kazakhstan last week. Now from the penalty spot, here he comes, Azrankalov, and he's ripping penalty into the net. No chance for Brian Maher there, and he makes it 4-4. And now coming forward, it's Cian Kavanagh, who missed that big chance for Derry right at the end of the 90 minutes. That's 3 of the last 4 penalties have gone down the middle. Which goalkeeper is going to have the nerve to stand in the middle of the net? What's going on here? Well, he's given it to Ben Doherty to come forward and take it. Well, Cian Kavanagh was walking towards the penalty area to take that penalty, and there's been a change of heart somewhere, and now it's Ben Doherty who's coming forward to hit the penalty. Dare I say it, he's missed his last 2 that he's taken for Derry in normal time. Ben Doherty, pressure kick here, up he comes, and the goalkeeper makes the save. Ben Doherty has missed, the man who scored the winning penalty for Coleraine against Maribor a couple of years ago. And Tobyl have a chance now to win this tie, and it's Ilic who is coming forward to take it. It's 4-4, but Ilic now
with a spot kick here after Ben Doherty's miss, and it's over now to either Brian Maher to try and keep Derry alive here in Europe up against Illich, who can win it for Tobyl with this spot kick, and he's hit the crossbar. He's hit the bar. Can you believe it? Derry are still alive in Europe.
I asked had he got the nerve to stand in the middle of the net, and that's exactly what he did. He went to go into the corner, he stood up, and he made him clip it too high. Unbelievable by Brian Maher.
And now Cian Kavanagh is going to hit a penalty. Well, what sort of state is his mind in after the turnaround in the last shootout, in the last penalty? But this is his moment here now, as the goalkeeper Konovalov is not happy about something, but it's all about delaying tactics here in Cian Kavanagh, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think he's complaining about the ball behind the net. They've got to move the ball. I don't understand why the ball boy hasn't moved the ball. That's what the keeper's asking for.
Well, Derry have got out of jail with that missed spot kick from Illich, and now it's over to Cian Kavanagh here. Up he steps. We're in sudden death here, by the way, and Kavanagh rifles it into the net. Terrific penalty. If only he'd hit the last one. So they're 5-4 in front.
Yeah, fair play to the big man. And you know what he's done? He's picked his spot and he's drilled it into the corner. He sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Brilliant.
So now Milatovic, he must score. He must score. Massive pressure on the central defender here to keep Tobyl in this European tie. It's a pretty short run up from Milatovic, but he has scored. We're back level at 5 apiece.
Yeah,
it is breathless.
It wasn't a good penalty.
He's hitting the next penalty for Derry.
You could see he was very nervous. They're asking
Brian Maher, does he want to hit it? I think they're leaving it up to him.
Yeah,
Patrick McElhinney is telling him to take the penalty.
Yeah, and in fairness to him, as soon as he realised that that's what they're asking for, he said no problem. There was no hesitation in his mind. He says I'll hit it.
So it's 5-5, and now it's down to the Derry City goalkeeper Brian Maher, and Konovalov is still not happy with what's ever going on behind the goal. I think it's an issue maybe with the photographers, perhaps, is the problem. But here is the Derry goalkeeper now, Brian Maher, who's stepping forward to take the next penalty for City. And the referee's still trying to deal with this issue of whoever is causing a problem behind the goal. He's removed somebody, none of which, of course, helps Brian Maher in this situation.
Yeah, you don't want to be delayed. You've got more time to think about it. He's just got to pick a spot, like big Cian Kavanagh before him. Pick a spot, put your foot through the ball.
Big moment for Brian Maher. A lot of weight on his shoulders to take this penalty kick. He doesn't hit it all that cleanly, and the goalkeeper makes the save. Well, it's not over yet, because Tobyl still have to score their next penalty, but Maher has missed, and it's now up to Kurenko, their number 18, a second chance to put them through.
I have to say it's a good save by the goalkeeper. Brian Maher hasn't done much wrong there. He's put it across his body. It's going into the side netting, whereas exactly what you wanted, but the big keeper's got across and got a big hand to it.
I didn't think he got a lot of power on it. Here's a penalty now for Tobyl, with a chance to win it at the second attempt. Up they step, and they've scored! Silence in Tala. Tobyl have won the penalty shootout by 6-5, and they celebrate their passage through to the playoff round, and it's heartbreak for City, who suffer penalty pain, and Kurenko sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, and their journey will continue, and Derry are denied history. They're denied a place in the playoff round. What disappointment. One each. It finished over the two legs after winning 1-0 tonight, but out 6-5. They exit Europe. The Kazakhstanis, elation for them, deflation for Derry. But what a journey from the Faroes to Finland. It was fun, but they hit trouble in Tobyl last week and they couldn't complete the job here in Tallaght tonight, despite winning in the 90 minutes. And so the dream dies in Dublin. But it's been one heck of a roller coaster ride. I'm sure the fans won't forget it. They will stay to applaud the City fans. But the European Odyssey has ended, and amazingly, Tobyl, second best all night, are through to play Victoria Pilsen in the playoff round next Thursday night. Gareth McGlynn.
It's an absolutely cruel game. It's an even crueler game when Derry City were the better team over the two legs, but then they go out in penalties. The only thing is, Brian Maher was one of the best players and has been one of Derry City's best players all month. Without him in the first leg, they were doomed. Without him in the match against Pooks, they were doomed. So they would not have got here without him, and it's just unfortunate that he missed a penalty tonight. But I have to say, over the two legs throughout the European campaign this year, they can go home with their heads held high. And I tell you what, all 3,000 fans can do the same. They were absolutely incredible here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we can pick apart what the ifs and buts of it all, and the penalty shootout, Ben Doherty missing the fifth kick, Cian Kavanagh then coming forward, whatever went on there was to hit the fifth one, but it was taken away from him. And of course Kavanagh's miss at the end of the 90 minutes as well. I mean, he was right in the thick of it all.
Eric, I point to you, I picked out the 5 penalty takers. I had Ben Doherty number 2. He's a very, very, very good penalty taker.
He missed his last 2.
He did for Derry City, I agree, but prior to that he's a good penalty taker, and to be honest with you, his penalty wasn't good. It wasn't in the corner and it wasn't hit with conviction. But I have to say, on the night, I thought Derry City were by far the better team. And you know yourself, when you go to penalties, it's an absolute lottery.
Yeah. Well, this Derry team has grown during this European run. They will be all the better for it. Maybe not in the short term. They have to regrip now and get ready for the defence of their FAI Cup against St Patrick's Athletic on Sunday evening back at the Brandywell. But a quite extraordinary night here at Tallaght. Derry's 50th match in Europe, unique in so many ways, having to come here to Dublin to play it. And at the end of the day, it was the lottery, the drama of a penalty shootout that stopped them, that denied them from progressing any further. The run is over. They have lost on penalties to Tobyl. It's good night from the Tallaght Stadium, and it's back to the Radio Foyle studio to Desi and Liam for some final thoughts.
Liam, heartbreak in the end for Derry fans, and on reflection, penalties can go either way, but Derry with a better side and possibly will feel that they should have won the tie.
Yeah, well, they did the 3 best chances there's in the game, you know what I mean? Cian Kavanagh's especially at the end was game over if he had scored it. Paul McMullen had a chance, and then Mickey Duffy had a half a chance. So, you know, Tobyl came, they not to concede too many goals, see it out. And then, as you say, it's cruel, and unfortunately, you know, the goal last week has killed Derry. That thunderbolt last week from their fullback has killed Derry. It's put them out of the tournament, because if Derry hadn't done to come back from that tie 0-0, then they would have been through and 8. But unfortunately, it's not to be.
And like the biggest night for the biggest day for Derry City in the last couple of years was at the Aviva Stadium last November when they beat Shelbourne to win the FAI Cup. They took 20,000 fans down the road to Dublin that day. They continue the defence of that this Sunday. Forget about the fatigue, because there's obviously going to be bodies that are hurting there tonight after 120 minutes of action, but mentally it's going to be difficult to lift these boys for Sunday.
Well, I don't think it will be, to be quite honest. I think it'll be more physical than anything. I think Rory and his backroom staff will know that the players are fine mentally, because it's any team can lose in penalties, but it's physically, and the only team that's going to come out and winners tonight are St Pat's. They'll be sitting going, happy days, this is great that Derry have spent 120 minutes trying to get through and round into the playoffs on Sunday.
Liam Coyle, thanks for that. That's it from Foyle Sports Sound for another night. Derry City have been beaten on penalties. They won the tie 1-0 on the night, but after extra time they couldn't be separated and the spot kicks decided the outcome. The Kazakhstani side progressing to the playoff stages. We'll have a reaction on the Northwest Today programme tomorrow morning from 8:30. We're back on Sunday evening when the Candy Stripes continue the defence of the FAI Cup. They take on St Pat's at the Ryan McBride Brandywell Stadium. The prize for them, a winner. The prize for those teams there is a place in the quarter-finals. We'll be on air from 5 o'clock. For now, however, from Eric White and Gareth McGlynn and Tala, Michael Kilty, Liam Coyle and myself, Desi McCallion, back here in the BBC Radio Foyle studios. Thanks for joining us. Time now to rejoin our colleagues on BBC Radio Ulster and The Late Show with Eve Blair.